You're just mouthing.
Oh, I can hear you now. Hold up, I can hear you.
To
You're good.
you're
Can you
just
hear me?
mouthing to fool me.
Yeah. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
you can hear your wondrous voice.
Wonderful.
I sure can.
I was really playing waiting music while you were not on.
On loop.
Yeah, the Koi Koi is
Is this-
like 2-minute version.
Oh, he looped it? I don't even remember he
Well,
looped
it
it.
was like from 10 years ago.
It's such a short track.
Not
Because it's
not at 2 minutes, 11 seconds.
it's part of a 11 seconds. Good lord. Because I mean, of course it's part of a longer track. Did you know? Whoa, how'd you get that background? What? What? He's Goku. He's just mouthing. His sound works. He's just trying to
I see
fool
your
us.
microphone.
I don't.
No, on the Zoom thing. I could see that it's active. Now we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, there he is. There's your beautiful voice. Stand by for Dragon Ball Z.
How we do?
I was listening to that recently.
Were you really?
I wish. Yeah, I was so excited to get the first 5 released. I wish we could have put something a little fancier together. Like I wanted to do some kind of 3D render with 3D Dragon Balls, but in the end I just slapped something else together and used your voice. But we'd worked on like the first 5 for like 3.5 months, and I was like, come on, I just want to release this already.
And we never released it.
Never.
We never did anything with it.
It's like you're standing in front of Goku. Like Goku's trying to watch the show.
That is what it looks like. It's like he's like Goku's behind him at the movie theater and he just can't.
He looks pissed off. Yeah, he looks angry.
Don't block his face. It's rude.
And he is Goku. I love that. That's such a good cover though. It like perfectly sums up the whole fight where they're just like all amped and excited and like, yeah, we're gonna nail this guy, and Goku just does not care.
Exactly. They think they're better than him, but he's just like he's just standing there.
It perfectly sums up the whole fight.
Yeah, we're doing something. He's just like, hey guys.
So, what's up, fellas? Let's call to order the 4th. What is this? Our 4th meeting?
4th or 5th, yeah.
Yeah.
4th annual.
Are we just counting meetings, or are we counting like every time we've ever Zoomed?
I guess honestly, I just remember the last one. I remember one prior to it, like after. I don't remember. It's all a vague memory in my head.
That's true.
Out of the ones we recorded, this is number 3.
True.
Right.
Let's get that interview with Reese. Speaking of, did you get him that recut that he asked for of whatever that episode was?
Recut?
Yeah, didn't you see his message?
Whose?
Reese. He asked for a different part of that episode.
Oh no, I haven't. Oh, I completely forgot. Yeah. I'll get it to him. I'm not blowing him off. I sent him the other one like right away, which I feel good about.
That's right. Just claim that you have a life and you were out today.
Just acknowledge that you saw it.
I'll just lie to him. Yeah, the answer is the level set footage. Well, there's another way you can do it, and that's how I had to do it with 35. Going forward, it's going to be a slightly bit more of a pain in the ass to get rid of all the Japanese music. Just because, for whatever reason, the level sets play ball and I'm going to put that in quotations because they were extremely inconsistent with the center channel. The center channel was always by itself. The Japanese music has never been in the center channel for any of the level set episodes. How the sound effects are oriented, that's a completely different story. That's different for every episode, which was annoying. But going forward in like 30th anniversary footage or Dragon Box footage, for whatever reason, Japanese music's in the center channel. And it can be erased, but it's much more of it just means there's more work to be done.
But it definitely works for every episode. We're not going to run into a roadblock like with 80 or whatever it is, the Frieza ones.
Well, it definitely works for the next few episodes. I can't tell you for 100% certainty. I sure hope not. But if we come across that problem, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, we'll just have
you know what
episode.
Yeah, it genuinely makes me wonder, like, what I'm gonna do, like, if it's gonna be a problem during like Goku training in space scenes, because those scenes are plagued with one, reverb, because Goku's in a chamber, and two, a constant machine humming noise that's in the background. That's why like you can't rip like any music from those scenes or sound effects. It's like when I was sound effect hunting, if like I even caught a whiff that the sound effect I was looking for was in a Goku space training scene, I was like, forget it, never mind, because I'll never get a clean rip of it.
Too much work, huh?
Could you get a sample of the low tone, the low frequency, and invert that and try canceling it out in Audacity? Because
it's possible, but like I said, if Goku's talking, then there's also that added reverb of him, and if there's Japanese music playing, forget it.
Yeah,
it's like you're like trying to jump over a wall with your hands tied behind your back and your legs are tied behind, and someone is trying to push you. It's like you can't, you just can't.
His name is Hiro.
So we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, I guess. I guess I'll say great, fantastic job. It's insane. We tackled, what was it, 17 episodes? Well, we started with 18, so yes, add 2 plus 15. We doubled our progress. I wouldn't say very quickly because it's been like 6 months since our last meeting. But it was a hell of a lot of work, and I think you guys did a fantastic, phenomenal job. I don't know, I can never express enough how amazing I think you guys are. It's hard for me to express elation, but it's amazing, and I'm glad our version exists forever, and I'm extremely proud of it.
Yeah,
like I think I started editing clips of the Saiyan Saga in like 2017 or who knows, maybe even earlier, because that's like how old my computer is, and I just had like all these little visions and maps in my head, and you know, I never actually thought it could authentically be finished like we have done now. It's hard to process. It's like a dream come true. It's crazy. It's wild.
It is.
Yeah, it's insane.
It is.
The fact that it's so good too. Like, I'll be humble about it all you want, but it's real. This is incredible.
I hum so many of your guys' tracks too. So many of them are so good. Like Vegeta and Nappa Arrive is one of my favorites, just because like when the Nappa theme part, it might be one of my favorite Nappa variations. It's so good when it's like dun 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 dun. Saiyan Showdown is like the perfect like setting the stage, like and it's too bad I only one time found I could only squeeze it in once, when it actually gets to the big epic part at the end, when Gohan fights Vegeta. Only played that part twice throughout the whole Saiyan saga, but I did my best to squeeze it in again.
It's okay.
Yeah,
You did great.
So many good ones, and I've even like I was editing wise. I'll be honest. I think I was like a little bit lukewarm on Kaioken's strategy at first, which when it was one of Joe's last ones, but it's slowly becoming like I think it might be my second favorite Kaioken theme now. Because there's so many good ones, and there's no bad Kaioken theme. They're all so good.
Yeah. You can't fail
I've
with
tested
that
it
one.
out. I know.
I was having that one
I'm
at the grocery store this morning. Like I was walking through the milk aisle. Dun, 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 dun.
What is the name of that water? It's a very Namek sound. It's like one of the first things I think of. But it's early in Kaioken strategy when it starts like do 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 dun 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 dun.
Oh, that's not a water. That's yeah. That's Oh, it starts with
not watery. I don't
No,
know.
I know what you mean. It starts with an A, a Maku something or other. It's like it's actually more like an Oriental.
Makudari?
That one, thank you. Good. Wow.
Makudari.
Way to pull that one.
It makes me think of Namek. It's extremely
That's
Namek
true.
to me.
Well, it is extremely. It's Frieza ascending Guru's tower.
Oh yeah, it is. You're right. It is.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to put that in there. I've used it twice. I've used the Frieza ascending Guru's tower motif once. That was Princess Snake when Goku first looks up at the snake head. And then I used the sound here.
I think I overused that sound, actually.
There's no.
Yeah, Rakim has used that sound.
That's one of my favorites.
I love that one.
High Gliz, Dreamscape. That sound that we just talked about. Penya, those are like the four most Namek sounds in my brain. And maybe Dewdrops, but Dewdrops feels pretty universal, honestly.
Yeah.
You know what's more very Namek? It's is it air choir? It's more like an ooh sound.
Yes, and Sin Box as well. Would definitely be shoved in that category.
Yeah.
Well, Sinbox is the Ginyu whistle, right?
Yeah, but it's also a lower octave, an ooh choir that's pretty common throughout.
You'll find it in a lot of stuff, but you just have to like listen for it.
Man.
But if you're only choosing like 5 to 7 of the main ones, you got them all.
Yeah.
Put Z guitar.
That's what my
that's
what my brain clicks. Yeah.
The bass, obviously, space voices.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the Proteus sounds too.
The usuals. Yeah, that's right.
Because now that I know what it is, I want to use Thunder Bass for something. I don't know what, but I want to use that.
Feels like it needs to be there, right?
Yeah, that and whatever that one is, I forget. It's like in the 112-ish range. We've used it a couple times on like remakes. Oh gosh, I forget the name of it. It's that like, it's that bass that like I can't remember. It'll come to me eventually, but I know we have used it a few times from the Proteus.
And slippery bass, we should
That's
definitely.
That's it. Yes. Oh. Sorry, that was what it was. Slippery bass.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew the number.
Isn't that what you used?
To it. What?
Isn't that what you? No, you used Thunder Bass for Kaioken strategy, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Because
I had the thought that you might be able to use that to set up Namek. Not that we would use it on Namek, but in the next like 8 episodes, there might be a space you could use. Well, more the next like 3, there might be a space you could use it because once you get to outer space, want to use different sounds.
Yeah, I touched around a little bit with 36, but I didn't really want to get too far because I would prefer to get a whole new computer before I really start serious for real with the Namek episodes because it's very choppy and it's just because she's been overworked. It's kind of an old computer at this point. I think I've had it since 2016. So it gets choppy when I try to mix, and there's nothing more frustrating than trying to precisely mix, and it constantly cuts out, and it's, it's not the computer's fault. It's just it needs, I don't know, some kind of major overhaul or a brand new computer. I don't know. I'll get someone who knows more about that than me to fix it.
That happens to me like when I finish a track in Reaper and then everything's done and then I have to go back in to do something. It starts doing that. And I don't know why. It's like, we're done with this project. We don't want to work on this again. We don't want to do it anymore.
I have bad news. Reaper went union. I'm sorry.
But it's always fine. Like in the project, when I'm first doing it, to the end, it's fine. If I have to go back in for anything at all, it's like, we're gonna give you a hard time today, sir.
Do you use a wireless mouse for Reaper or for your computer, Rakeem?
Not this computer. No.
Okay. Did you know that Reaper doesn't like wireless mice?
I did not know that.
But this is a thing,
Really?
And it's never been fixed too. So every now and then, my mouse will just like stop functioning in Reaper. It's the most annoying thing. And I forget, it was Gohan Wax Nappa. That was the one. I spent hours trying to find the correct sound for Gohan fights Frieza. Finally find it. It's like I'm super motivated now. Right? I'm gonna go
Kyoto
in here. I'm
Forest?
gonna, what?
The Kyoto Forest, right?
Yes, exactly. I finally found that. And I'm
Look at you.
That was good.
Look at you.
I made a note of that for a reason.
I started trying to move my MIDI files and all right, I could do this. And the mouse is just like, no, you're not. No, go away. Find something else to do. No.
No, you're not.
So frustrating. And I forced that thing. I ended up just pulling like up the laptop from underneath my computer because I use a laptop, but it's like underneath all my junk. I just used the trackpad because it's like, if I forget this now, it's gonna be a problem. I have to get this thing.
Wow, it was really trying to slow you down, huh?
It did not want that track to finish.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who suffered horrible technical problems. If I suffer, you need to suffer
not
too.
At all.
This computer was purchased specifically for Dragon Ball Z music. I don't know if I ever told you that. Like,
really?
My old one, Audacity just did not work properly. It was really old. Like, it was like my law school. Like, so we're talking 2008. But yeah, Audacity had hard difficulty loading the THD files, and it would take forever, and then sometimes it would crash and stuff. So I bought this cheap thing just so I could rip music from the Blu-rays.
When did you get it? Like around what episode?
Well, no, this would have been around 2017.
Oh, okay, that's different.
Yeah, it was like when the Blu-ray ripping thing made its way into Facebook. Yeah,
that's when you tried and presumably failed to rip a Blu-ray episode.
It failed enough that I wasn't getting. It was giving a hard time, and so after 2 months of frustration, I just said, "Screw and buy a new computer," for that purpose. And I've yet to rip a full episode to this day.
It's not easy.
It's
Koikev makes it look easy. It is not easy.
You too.
Well,
I won't even. I looked at the instructions and I was like, no.
What?
Not for this guy.
Yeah, because I saw, and the funny thing is, he got the. I don't know how he came to that conclusion that he did and put all that together, because like we endlessly owe thanks to Akash Patel. Which is why I put a special thanks for him in every episode.
Yeah.
Because but he got the idea from me when I was experimenting, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I just made some point on a post a million years ago where I was like, it's weird when I put this track on top of this track and then I click invert, it sounds like all washed out, or it sounds weird. And then Akash Patel's like, hey, that gives me an idea. And then like a couple days later, he puts out his giant mega post. He's like, you have to try this. And I'm like, okay. And it was like discovering how to make gold. It was like the holy grail.
Oh, I saw that about a month later because Koike starts posting stuff on YouTube, and I heard that the first one was Frieza, and it was like, oh my God, what is this? Like, how did you do that?
It's like, he got it. He did it. He actually did it.
I wish somebody can do it for the singles. That'd be nice.
Wouldn't it?
Somebody's gonna do it at some point. I know it's possible.
I don't think
somebody can do it.
I'm so sorry to tell you. Although
it has to be.
You can get
possible at least.
If you follow the instructions that I forget the guy's name, but the guy who was doing the GT rips, because those are all DVD. If you follow the stuff he did, you could probably get some of it pretty close.
Yeah, you want to hear Mark Menz's music?
I'll wait till you hear Sin Shenron's theme, which I'm almost done with.
I don't even remember how Sin Shenron's theme goes.
You will when you hear it on the Z guitar. It's really awesome, actually. It's like way better than the GP track.
I remember Super 17's theme because it's like 3 tones repeated and nothing else. It's like and that's it.
No, I love that. I love that stupid little thing. I'm gonna make a Android 17 Super 17 crossover track when I get a chance.
I know we've said Faulconer music is our guilty pleasure, but you need to put like guilty fully capitalized for Mark Menz's music and you.
I keep getting weird that Kaioken Victory has gotten weird posts. Like I haven't had anybody say, "Oh, I love this track." You know, I love this track.
Exactly.
But I've gotten like comments about completely unrelated subject matter on it. Brent today posted something about, hey, basically saying, can somebody make what's the name of the track? Oh God, it's I forget. If you look at it, the one from the Japanese score, that it was actually a Kikuchi track, but I don't think.
Oh, Battle Point?
Battle Point Unlimited.
This is on the Kaioken Victory?
Yeah.
Oh, so I see the comment.
Yeah, and I told him I actually did plan on doing that one soon because I like that song, even though it's not a Kikuchi song.
No, it's a Yamamoto song. I mean, it doesn't even remotely sound like a Kikuchi track, but I understand what he's saying. It's Japanese.
Yeah, it's the Japanese one. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? Probably for next year at some point, because by then we'll be probably getting into. I don't know when we're gonna start releasing these things, but I would assume we'd be at a couple episodes in at least. Around April Fools, I was going to do Dr. Wheelo's theme, but use the Frieza synths because that's Frieza's theme in Japanese.
Oh, that's actually not a bad idea. I kind of like. Well, I've always said doing Kikuchi tracks with our synthesizers would be a fun idea.
Yeah, that one I've experimented with, and it sounds really cool. And there are a couple others that I think would work.
It's so bizarre to me that Frieza and Guru's theme, like most of the main music in that era, is just Dr. Wheelo's theme from from World's Strongest. It's so weird to me, but I kind of love that. Kind of like how all the most common Saiyan Saga Kikuchi tracks are straight from Dead Zone. Like when the Dead Zone opens, that's the theme when Goku turns Super Saiyan. That's the most overused track in the whole show, and it's when the Dead Zone opens up, and it probably fits the best from that scene too.
Well, you said they used that when he turned Super Saiyan.
Yeah, if you watch the Japanese version, it's the same track that you hear like every other episode. When it's like a da 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 ba 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 bum bum bum. It's this big dramatic track, and it's a good track. If you didn't use it every, I make the same complaint to Faulconer in that Frieza era. You know, if you overuse a track, you lessen its impact. So Kikuchi's guilty of the same thing. It's like write a few new tracks.
He's guilty of it more so than Faulconer. I understand if Frieza's theme is everywhere, but there are so many Faulconer tracks.
It's less noticeable when the music isn't wall to wall. It has more room to breathe. Whereas, like, you know, when I'm writing when I've been writing the timestamps for these audio suites, it's like, ugh, Frieza theme 3, Frieza theme 3, Frieza theme 3, Frieza theme 3. It's like, ugh.
I did not get. I was unfazed by this.
Oh, I liked it personally. I
didn't
love
even.
Frieza theme.
It
Frieza
wasn't
theme
even
3 is one of
bad
my
to
favorites.
I don't love it.
I love Frieza theme 2 with the random drums all over the place.
Random drums.
Is that which one are you considering 3? Is that the one where it's like before when he's like about to stab Krillin? The one that
Frieza theme 3 is the clicker theme.
Oh no, I was talking about, maybe that's the one where there's like just drums, but it's not like a drum beat. It's just, and then like a couple seconds later, another random snare out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's Frieza theme 3.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah, because I don't.
Well, you gotta use it.
I know.
He actually does. But that first one is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the first one's easily my favorite Frieza theme. Although I don't mind Frieza theme 2. I just think it's overused. A Frieza theme 2. All right. Let's clear up the confusion, like vocally, I guess, because this is how I want it to be categorized. And it's categorized in the order that they are played in the show too. And they're the 3 most common Frieza themes used. This is all just to categorize it and avoid confusion. Frieza theme 1 is the regular one you hear in Ginyu Assault. It's just, it starts with the nanites. Ding, 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 ding. I don't know. I'm not doing it.
Hey, that was good.
That was good. I can hear it in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Frieza theme 2 is the one that starts with like a liquid stack beat where it starts like ding, with a little 303, low 303, and it's slow and it's like a devastating theme. It's like the alternate to Ginyu transformation. You know how Ginyu transformation will play like a cue or a beat in a scene whenever Frieza's about to do something bad. Frieza theme 2 is the alternate cue.
It's the one that's always paired with Ginyu transformation too when you get later into the Frieza saga.
Mm-hmm.
To each other constantly.
Yep. And it's a pretty, I want to say it's the longest of the 3 themes. And eventually at a certain point it transitions into like a variation of Frieza theme 1, which is where things get confusing. Because it turns into Frieza theme 1, but there's an extra Blade Runner note on top of it. So when it's like
wait, okay, I'm gonna have to find this one.
Well, good news. Go to the spreadsheet.
Yeah, pull up my episode rip of Goku is Ginyu and Ginyu is Goku, and that will explain it. Like I think my favorite instance of Frieza theme 2 being used is when Frieza does his little cut the planet in half attack. And it's just this long drone. But it's actually like perfectly done. It's this long droning scene where Goku is helpless, and that's the moment Goku realizes he can't beat Frieza. And it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfectly used. And the slow droning nature of it actually works in the scene's favor.
Elton reassembled that whole sequence within the last year, and he did a really good job of it. But it's so cool to just hear it.
He's been doing fantastic work that I have not had time to appreciate at all because I've been working on the Saiyan Saga. But he's been doing fantastic work.
Yeah, whenever I think of it, I try to like toss a comment to him because I know he knows who I am. It's really incredible stuff.
You better be like a fucking all-star in the community. You came out of nowhere last year.
The all-star.
I feel like you deserve just as much praise as Rakeem.
Yeah, but I'm the quiet guy in the back.
Yeah, that's why you just came out of nowhere. You're like just popped out of nowhere, and you're like, "Who are you?" And you're like, "I've been here the whole time."
I have been here the whole time.
Did you find it, Rakeem?
Yeah, I did.
So that one's Frieza theme 2. Frieza theme 3 is the Frieza clicker theme, the one that starts with Zion. And it's just Frieza clicker, and it just stays Frieza clicker forever. the confusing part about Frieza Theme 3, and I feel like I should mention this because I feel like someone at some point is going to tell me I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong. At a certain point, Frieza Theme 3 turns, if you watch the Fusion, which episode 77, Frieza Theme 3 turns into Frieza Powers Up for a little bit. It's like a lower key version without the Game Boy sounds or the Piccolo's lesson sound, whatever that is. The synthy sound.
Well, wait, well, you know what that is for Kim.
Yeah.
In the Synth Bank 3, whatever.
What? You were just messing with it today,
yeah,
weren't
I know
you?
I was, but I can't remember the name of it.
You should just know everything. Yeah, there is a short version of Frieza Powers Up that doesn't have that or the Game Boy sound in it, and it ends and it goes. It's like it starts up and it's like boom boom. It kind of just stops with some like snares. It's like doom 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 with a few kick drums, and then Vegeta's theme starts, and that's the end of that track. Later on, Frieza Powers Up starts, and that's a different track because it's used separately. And if you listen very carefully in later episodes, sometimes they mix them, and you can hear the crossfade or you can hear the edit, and it's a different track.
That's why what we're gonna do, or what I'll do, is I'm gonna make each of those as a single or as a clean cut, and I'll just put them out there at some point in the next couple months, so that people could just use that as the authoritative version. And by the way,
that would help.
It's Synergy for Keem is the one, and the game is Tritone.
That's a perfect name for it.
Yeah, it feels like it is. It's what it says it is.
That's such a perfect name. Why didn't you remember it? It's so fitting.
Because there's like 500 sounds.
So I thought you memorized every word of your love.
Oh yeah, because that's in the Vegeta Deflect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's at the end of it.
Yeah,
and Mike did something weird with it because it's like he's just messing with the mod wheel at the end of it. It's really like if you listen really carefully, it's not just like the normal thing.
Yeah,
but he's clearly just screwing around with it. Like you can hear it if you know what the sound sounds like. So I just did enough of it to get me past the transition point, and I figured Marcel can mix it, whatever.
Oh yeah, I'll make it sound good. I'll make it sound seamless.
You're gonna have to tweak the bass a little bit, I think, to make sure it all flows, but it should be basically usable. But yeah, whatever. If you catch something, that's fine. Just let me know.
Okay. Yeah. That's some of the documentation and categorization that I've done. Because what was it? Yeah, I looked at Joe's document, which is very, very impressive and very ridiculous and insane how much work must have went into that. But I went over the first 6 episodes and I said, see me after class. No, it was very good. And I think, yeah, it's like I said, it's these first few episodes are extra tricky because obviously like the first couple episodes were just written as a pack. Like there was no rhyme or reason to it. So you kind of have to make up your own end of one track and start of another track based on how it's edited later in the show. Like if you really wanted to be as accurate as how it was written, you'd probably say Vegeta's theme is the same as like the previous track because it was probably all just written as one piece. I don't know, but Vegeta's theme is obviously its own thing that has its own starting point. If you listen,
I will say real quick, just because you said that, I know in Digital Performer it was probably way easier to do this, but they would I guess make the tracks contained in their own things. So it wasn't how they were writing the long thing. They were like writing different tracks.
It was like sub projects in Reaper.
Exactly. It's the same as sub projects.
Oh, that's how they did it in the 90s?
Yeah, like you've got one core project using the Reaper terminology, and then you would break it up into 20 different sub projects so that each one kind of feeds back into that core one. And that's also how you could do all these like very drastic tempo changes if one track freezes whatever tempo versus a battle track.
Man, I didn't
The
know
digital
that.
performer was like made for video, so it's kind of like easier to do there because the MIDI files are what are contained in Reaper. You can't do it like that necessarily. You have to like record all the audio and then go to the next thing. But in digital performer, you can just do everything via MIDI before you even record anything.
My God, I had no idea. That's so cool. I mean, obviously they had to do it some way. There was no feasible way. They just put a monitor in front of them and all right, write it. Oh, hurry up, write it. You know, as they're watching it. I don't know. I guess I didn't think about too much how they actually did it. Digital performer.
So do you think, Rakeem, then they would just like set it and forget it and like let it record the whole episode at that point? Like once it's done?
I feel like they wouldn't do that.
Because that's what I'm thinking. They wouldn't, but by the same token, then why did they only, even for the CDs, internally, they clearly only had for at least the first handful episodes, the final, I'll say mixed version. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't have had the tracks bleed into each other. Because later CDs, they didn't bleed into each other at all. But
they
like,
that's true.
They do bleed into each other. So they do bleed into each other. So even like, so if you listen very carefully, because I know, because I've recreated and edited these to a T exactly how they are in the show. If you listen very carefully right before Frieza theme 1, you can still hear the very end of Ginyu Force theme. If you listen super carefully, you can still hear that. So they are cutting it as it was as a whole project.
Yeah.
When they reuse it for later bits. So.
Well, if you listen to the version that I made of Frieza theme 1, you cannot hear that, but that's okay. I never uploaded it, come to think of it. I think that actually has been sitting on my computer for 6 months and I never uploaded that video.
Oh, you made a clean cut of that?
Yeah, oh, I know why I didn't, because I never had, you had made me
because I never made you a thumbnail.
Yeah, I never asked you for it, but yeah.
I wasn't even aware you made one, so yeah.
Yeah, well, you seemed busy, so I don't think I didn't bother.
Busy with what?
I don't know. It's an ape.
Yeah, those ape episodes were whew, you should see the timelines for those 8 episodes. Like it was one thing to like pitch up Vegeta's voice. I mean, that took a while too. Pitching up Vegeta's voice, especially like the standard I pitched it up was about 7 to 8%. But I remember like especially like during a few particular scenes, like Vegeta's proposition, I might have went up like 9%, just a little extra more because I wanted that extra feel of like Kakarot kind of edge to it, even though it's still clearly just like it's like his Android era voice. It doesn't sound particularly high at all, even after pitching it up so much. It just sounds like normal, like it does throughout most of the show.
I think that's why nobody's really complained about it. One person questioned it, but nobody's even really complained. And
yeah, because for some reason in the remastered dub, Vegeta just shows up with his voice like an octave deeper than it always has been throughout the entire show for no reason.
No, he starts that way, then he gets punched in the balls, and all of a sudden gets very high after he fights Raccoon.
Yeah, it's Raccoon kicked him a little too hard in the balls. They don't deserve any favors, Kakarot. Like, what happened?
But even in the remaster, all that is remastered.
They deepened him there.
Yeah, but then they gave up when they got to Garlic, and so he just randomly goes back up. Like
he comes back from space. He swallowed some helium on his way back from space.
That's true.
I've complained about. I think I've joked about this before, but like I rewatched the remastered version of Ginyu Assault. It's kind of like watching like the 97 VHS of Star Wars, and you're like watching like the Mos Eisley scene, and it's like this weird like Frankenstein hodgepodge of like different elements that aren't from the same era, because it's like you're listening to like the 2005 redub, and everyone's like Krillin and Vegeta and Gohan are all talking with like their regular, more professional redub voice, and then Goku will start talking, and it's clearly 1998 Goku. He's like, Kakarot, help me find Frieza. Right, no problem. It's so jarring.
It is.
I was like, ugh. It works when everyone else is cheesy, but when only one character, it's like Goku got hit on the head.
He didn't make it out of the fight with Jason Bird either.
Yeah,
Him and Jace.
Yeah, Jace I could say is a fairly overall seamless transition from remastered to original dub. I didn't really notice Jace at first. I definitely notice it now, but that's just because I'm trained to that.
Yeah.
My ears trained. But I didn't notice it honestly when the Orange Bricks first came out. That's like one of the only voices that it might be the only voice Chris Sabat did that translated over well.
Yeah, maybe Yamcha.
Yeah, Yamcha.
Yeah, his Yamcha is pretty consistent.
Yeah. But most of his voices are not consistent at all.
That's true.
Have you ever heard Birder's uncut voice that you can't find on any home release? You can only I found it on a TV recording on like Internet Archive. But Birder's different, more snake-like voice in the uncut dub.
I'm the fastest warrior in the universe.
Gotcha, mate.
Wait,
Hold on, wait. Which uncut dub are you talking about? The original? Like
The
99?
the 2004 Funimation uncut dub that has Nathan Johnson's music.
Birder's voice is different?
Yes. But because they discontinued the DVDs, it doesn't exist on home release.
That's interesting.
So it was on a TV. I thought I'd sent it to you guys. It was on a TV recording because I'd never heard it before because it's kind of rare.
It sounds familiar now that you said that. Maybe.
wait, a TV recording.
Yeah, it was
Of
like
what?
the Toonami airing of
The ultimate
a legend
uncut
revealed.
version.
Hmm.
Because that aired
Interesting.
all the way through twice, I think, on TV at like 10 o'clock at night. It was past my bedtime.
That's why Joe never saw it.
That's why I never got past because they stopped releasing my precious DVDs, which are buried back that way somewhere.
Oh, I remember when those used to come on TV. I remember the theme song. It was like a hard rock.
Down. Oh, that's right. Joe made an adaptation of it, but
Yeah,
we never
so wait,
got around to
I need you to put voices to that thing.
voices.
Yeah, I want you to listen to the original, the Nathan John, or it wasn't Nathan Johnson that did that, actually, it was somebody else. But listen to the
Someone more
original one. They have,
talented.
like different voices and stuff. You're not gonna
Did
find
you
the
say
same
Dragon Ball Z?
No. It's like it starts with Shenron saying like, "I will grant your wish."
Down. Now that's my guilty pleasure. I kind of like that intro. It goes on a little too
It
long,
was pretty
It does.
cool.
but it's
I
pretty
try
cool.
and find, you know, like it goes on the same length as Chala Had Chala.
Oh, but it
Yeah.
does not fit the visuals of Chala Chala.
No,
at
but
all.
they did their own visual, so it didn't matter. But
No,
yeah.
I'm just saying, like if Funimation probably at one point considered, like, we'll just paste this over Chala Had Chala in our new remastered version, and then they watched it and they were like, no.
Well, I think what they probably did the hardcore visuals for it, but I think the timing was directed by them so that they didn't necessarily have to do two different video angles on the DVDs, because all the singles for the original airing had two angles for every episode.
So
Because
they stipulated it has to be like a minute and 40
It has to be a minute
seconds.
54 seconds or whatever the
Yeah.
time, 48. I forget the number. Yeah.
Well, you can't tell at all because it definitely doesn't feel like it drags on for 20 seconds too long. Anyway, it runs out of steam. Like that part when Gohan transforms and it's like a guitar solo, and it's like, oh, this would be awesome if it was like 15 seconds shorter, but
That's
it
why
goes on for 40 seconds.
At the part where Gohan transforms is where I started realizing it was getting kind of boring, and that's where I put the DVD thing.
Yeah, it's just too long.
But what I want you to do, I want you to put as much, whatever you can fit in there. I mean, compare it to the original, whatever voice. But for the Gohan transforming thing, I want you to put some like ridiculous, over the top, wild animal scream Like we
Oh,
did
yeah.
with the episodes, just something like I
I
want
saw
it
it.
as over the top as you can make it.
I could do the King Kong roar and mix in some other crazy shit too.
Don't
I
care
could
what
put
you
in the
do.
I'm gonna put in the T-Rex roar from Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
wait.
whole thing is intended to be as like ridiculous badass as possible.
I did have a couple talking points about the Namek Saga if you guys wanted to get into that, because I know you guys have been excited for over a year to dive into Namek. Rakeem, didn't you at one point like politely propose skipping the Saiyan saga and going straight to Namek?
I don't think that's necessarily what I said, but I think I was just more excited to get
I was
anything else.
because I was like, no, trust me, I got a plan for the Saiyan saga and it'll be good.
And we love the Saiyan saga. Don't get us wrong.
I'm gonna miss the Great Ape theme so much because I fell in love with the Great Ape theme.
The one and only theme you composed, right?
Yeah, that's why it's good. That's why it's the only good theme. Well, my favorite part of the whole theme is you already know is the part. Yeah, is the part you put together is the ha ho ha ho ha ho ha ho ho. Boom 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 boom. I love that part.
But I figured out how to adjust the attack on the Proteus so I could make it basically sing. I was so happy because I knew exactly what I was going to do with that.
Any favorite episodes of you guys? I'm actually kind of curious what some of your guys' favorite episodes might be.
Of what? The Namek Saga or in general?
No, sorry, the Saiyan saga that we did.
It 30. 30 is
30?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love 30. I don't know. I'm just kind of like I kind of like 29 more than I like 30. Maybe I just had a more fun time putting that one together. And there's a couple of moments in 29 that are just like perfect. They perfectly realized.
I don't think I have a favorite, but 28, 30, and
28's great.
21. 21's those three are like my top three. 21, 28, and 30. Yeah, 21's Goku's Second Coming debut.
Yes, Goku's Second Coming so good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I also really love the way it's used in 27.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part about Goku's Second Coming isn't the Kaioken part. It's the time and space part. Because I love the way it's used for the Spirit Bomb in 33 and 34. Because it has like this wondrous quality to it where it's like I don't know what sound that is, Rakeem, but he has the doom 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 dun dun dun. Do you know what I'm talking about at all?
Not at this very moment.
He's like, no.
That beginning part is like it's so much going on.
It does have a fair bit going on, but yeah, like during the dun 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 dun. I'm just going on a tangent, but there's a sound in there that's like it's like a higher register, like it sounds like magic sparkles. And I don't know what like the time and space part's my favorite part of that track.
I'd say, but I really like the jump off of King Kai's planet.
Oh, I love that.
That's so good. I tried to use that in several parts, and it's so specific for that scene. It never worked.
Didn't expect you to ever use that part again.
I tried during like one of the Goku zooming down Snake Way scenes, because there's so many of those. I tried during one of those, I think in episode 25, I tried to make it work at the beginning of 27 when Goku's on the Nimbus, and in the end Joe ended up writing something which turned out way better than anything I could have edited. Yeah, I tried to make it work a few times, but it just not quite. Maybe on Namek, we'll see. Yeah.
But if I had to choose a top 5, it would be 28, 30, 7.
Oh yeah, 7's perfect.
Now.
1
now.
Really?
I keep going back to 1.
I did too, actually. Yeah.
The ones that I go back to.
Yeah.
Really? I'm not crazy about 1.
I love 1.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Easily out of the first 5, 3 is my favorite, but one's fine.
One.
Huh.
Three is a
Okay.
great episode. But it's
You know,
something
like, one, there's something about one that it feels like the beginning of the whole series. Like, obviously it is, but it just feels that way musically. I don't know how we achieved it, but it just captures it.
Well, the important thing was not to do your usual title card, and not to use the closing theme. It had to have its own separate like ending.
It feels different. Like what Joe was saying, it has a feeling to it.
Yeah.
I guess you can call it nostalgic, but it has a something.
That is what it is. It's like nostalgic without being nostalgic, like without being actually nostalgic.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think. No, I've never thought too highly of one. I mean, one's fine. I'm proud of every episode we've done, but
yeah, I just re-listened to all of Raditz Wednesday or Thursday while I was at work, and I don't know, they just really hold up well. It's a good batch altogether.
Mm-hmm.
I know you wanted George Lucas the hell out of them, but it's a good batch.
I say
it's just
because
that's fine.
Like
yeah.
You know, to us with the Ginyu assault.
Any artist is never proud of is never satisfied with their work.
That is true.
I do have a soft spot for 7. 7 might be my favorite out of the whole filler saga, because 7 that was the first one that really felt like we upgraded, like because that one was like 80% new music or something like that, and it really felt like that's when like Joe took the wheel with the Snake Ways theme, because I said, I'm like, yeah, just write one theme, and Joe like threw all these 8 different ideas, was like check this out, all right, and this is gonna work in this scene, and then he started playing editor over my head, and I was like, oh shit, that's a great idea though. And I handed Rakeem this freaking 4.5 minute scene, and I'm like, good luck. And it turned out to be one of my favorite themes in the whole freaking show that we've done. It all came together so perfectly. 7, and you know, no one looks at episode 7 and thinks like, oh, that's my favorite episode of DBZ. It's like, yeah, we crafted so much out of so little in that episode.
Yeah, that was definitely 6 is the transitional episode for us. 1 through 5, it was a different project. That's I've always maintained. It was what
6 is a little weak.
What?
6 is a little weak. 6 is in the first half.
The first half, I think, and it's not. It's because I think with 1 through 5, it was you wanting to do this and approaching people on the internet and saying, "Hey, can you compose some music for me? I don't need all that much, I promise."
Yeah.
And then as 6, you could see by the second half, it's like, screw this, we're gonna just do it. And then 7 is us just doing it and exploding it. Fine, we don't have an existing track. Who cares? It doesn't. It kind of fits, but not really. Make a new one, and that's been the mentality.
If I'd known, and obviously you guys were still figuring out a lot of the tech too. Like if I'd known, that would have been the mentality that we opened up the gates with. But instead, that's fine. We opened up 7 with that mentality, which is great. It's like if I were to easily, I would just do the whole King Yama sequence entirely a red card if I could redo that, because it's, you know, it's fine, but like when we embellished the regular King Yama theme, and it was a little too busy, a little too much thrown in there. It needed to be a bit simpler, but you know, it's fine. But yeah,
I like the little embellishments with the ghosts. That's one of my favorites in that one.
Oh yeah,
right,
the little, a little it was like a little cartoon and jump. It's like,
I love that. It's just so subtle, but I can picture, even if I'm not looking at it, I can just picture it happening.
I don't remember a lot of the little, like, of working on some of the little ones, or most of the little ones, but that one, the King Yama little transitional sequence, I remember that.
Oh, the doom 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 doom, like mystery kind of jingle. Yeah, because I love that so much. I used it again in 13. It's perfect. Oh, it's great, because it's got this like otherworldly mystery to it, and You just nail it. Like,
It was
I don't know.
real short.
But it's like the little moments in the show that you remember.
Yeah.
I also want to give some credit when you added, I think it was wind orc on top of Vegeta snoozes when Gohan blows up the mountain. Oh, that was brilliant. It's amazing. And I don't know, was there a lot of talk about embellishing that? I want to say I just like throw in a liquid stack here. And then you're like Rakim's like, no, let me do that scene. I got a good idea for it.
That's what I'm saying. Most of them I don't even remember working on. Little things.
I don't know. I feel like I have a fairly good memory of each episode's progress, and I can remember the smoothest episodes and some of the roughest episodes.
10. Sorry.
10, 27 was
Bless
pretty
you.
rough.
Thank you.
Bless you. What was, I don't know, what was a rough episode? A lot of the same battle went pretty smooth. 30 I had to re-render a few times, but in the end, the episode was all the better for it. I remember I was getting frustrated with that episode a little bit by the end, and then I made a joke when it was finally finished. I put Vegeta saying, "That's it, you're finished," because I was really proud.
You wanted that episode to be perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you went all in. You got it. Go on.
I'm sorry. Out of the whole Vegeta, yeah, I remember because you made me think with that comment about 34, because you're like, it's like, man, you must have been going all out with 34, and I'm like, actually, now that I think of it, 34 is one of the easiest Vegeta battle episodes I think I've done, because there's no grade 8 going on. There's not as much pressure. It's like 32. I remember 32 had like a physical toll on me just because I spent all day editing it, and it was like so much work. The constant like adding grade 8 roars, constant like all these tiny little things, adding echo on Vegeta's voice it was like adding more on your plate.
Yeah, people don't really understand like how much is actually going on internally. You see the final product and you're just like, cool. But like, you do all this work, Marcelo especially. He's having like mental breakdowns, and people are like, cool episode, bro.
Yeah.
Did you know? Here's a random fact you guys might not know. I forget the guy's name. It might be like a Spanish name or something. But the one guy who posts some of our, like, he chances it with Toei, but he posts longer clips from our episodes sometimes. He posted, whatever his name is. He posted the baseball scene, like just the whole thing from Take Me Out to the Ball Game through to the fight, and that thing on its own. What?
He posts our clips.
Yeah,
I've seen Yashiro post our clips, and I want to say one guy's posted our clips.
This is that guy.
The same guy.
This is that guy.
Okay.
The baseball scene with the voices and everything, it goes on for like 3.5 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty much the whole thing.
The cutoff is 4 minutes.
But yeah. It's 352 then, that's the number. It has over 5,000 views, which means it has been viewed more than any of our actual episodes.
That's crazy.
Now, he does credit us, and he links back to us and all that stuff. So it's all like on the up and up. But it's just like, oh. But I think people are coming. They click on the episode, they download it. They go to Mega. I don't know if we get as many repeat listeners on YouTube, which I get. If you're giving out the WAV file, I go to YouTube because it's easy, but I also use ad blockers. But if you're like just trying to listen to it, you're gonna use WAV files or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like here it is. Come pick up your copy and bye.
That's exactly what it is. And I think the number of times our episodes have been viewed is drastically higher than the view count, because people probably rewatched them. I guarantee somebody binged 1 through 18 before 19 went up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
There should be something on Mega where you can like comment, like,
I am curious
watching the episode.
Yeah,
we would probably get more comments that way.
Yeah.
I was thinking that maybe we should put up a couple more clips, like the sub 1 minute ones, after we're done putting the episodes up, just because those seem to get really good traction right away. Like something from 30, something from 32, whatever.
Marcel's afraid.
I don't want to put the channel at risk.
I don't
Makes
either.
sense. It makes sense.
I was rolling the dice on it because we have 3 clips up right now.
Yeah, they're just small sneak previews of
Yeah.
like the pre-Saiyan battle episodes. You know, I have a few ideas though that we could do for shorts too, like fun dumb stuff that are like low effort for me to edit though. Kind of like remember that clip I edited where Goku slides off a snake way and then starts all over again, and it's like 20 seconds long.
That's one of my favorites. So stupid.
Yeah.
I love it.
I just that like little stupid bits like that. Maybe they could be music related, or maybe they have other ideas. Like I jotted down a few ideas, but they'd be like fun short things to edit. Like there's an old this was an idea I stole, but there's an old clip I love. I can't find it anywhere on YouTube. Maybe it's gone. But the name of the video is just called Goku's music versus Frieza's music. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No,
I do.
you did.
It was like the heroic Goku theme, and then Frieza had like something else, but it was like it's in the show. It is
in the show.
But like it's a scene where they're just like looking at each other, and Goku says something, and his music is playing, and then Frieza.
Oh, like cutting back and forth between.
Mm-hmm.
It's from Frieza's boast. If you watch the beginning of that episode, it's literally just like plays Guru's themes like and then it cuts to Frieza. It's like
What do you say we get down to it?
yeah, it's pretty funny.
Guru's theme, not heroic Goku. Guru's theme.
I'm pretty sure it plays that at some point too, but it's clearly like Goku hero music versus Frieza's Blade Runner tones.
I liked that little moment.
Yeah, I think it's great musically. There was what was it? There was like another, like I'd make a video joking about how Krillin steals Frieza's theme for Krillin Powers Up. He steals his theme. Another one.
That name is actually correct, I would say.
Well, yeah, for that one particular remix.
Mm-hmm.
Technically,
But since that's the only released version on the CD, then it over time just became Krillin's theme now.
Now that's what's wrong.
But I like the idea of Krillin getting the last laugh in the end.
Me too. Me too.
Another one would be like Videl versus Nappa, which I showed you guys.
I like that.
That'd be like another short idea.
You remember that, Rakim? Nappa's character design, it was recycled for, is it the Red Shark Gang? I forget the name of the gang, but it's something.
I think it is, and I'm disappointed that you know that.
Yeah, it's during the Great Saiyan Man episodes. Videl fights a gang. I believe it's called the Red Shark Gang. But anyway, they recycle character designs. One of them being Nappa, and so that was challenging Nappa.
It's like Nappa in some German schoolboy shorts. It's pretty funny.
I remember the squad, but I can't remember what that guy looks like.
I just took the clip and I edited Nappa's theme over it to see if it would fit, and I was like, oh boy.
It's really funny.
Because I think it's just Sell It Ball Club, which is a fine like dialogue track. I actually kind of like that track. I like the I don't know, what do you call that? It's like a kick drum like cymbal where it goes bam, 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 bam. I don't know. It's an alright track. It's not the track people talk about when they think of Dragon Ball Z music. But it was posted in the group chat.
There it is.
Because it's on my computer.
My father's a busy man. If you want to challenge him, you're gonna have to get through me first.
I came here to fight your father, but if I have to teach you a lesson first to get him out here, then so be it. All right, let's get this over with.
Yeah, it just looks like Nappa.
Little big girl, time to learn not to mess with the Red Shark Gang.
It's ridiculous.
You feel lucky.
What were they thinking? You think we wouldn't notice? I noticed.
Sharks are vicious, but they're not much on brains.
And you're supposed to be
If we're gonna
some
do that, edit it so that it's in the YouTube, whatever the dimensions are for the shorts.
That's an
Because
easy.
they get more views.
That's an easy. Oh, shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cell
those are
phone
easy to edit.
dimensions. Yeah. Just
I
make sure.
edited.
They do.
I edited those on my cell phone.
Yeah, they get a crazy amount of views for like 5 minutes, and then they go away. Never get clicked on again.
Oh, okay. Are there any episodes? So I've tossed this idea around. Joe, I forgot yours, but Rakeem, I tossed this idea before. If you guys were interested in editing an episode in the Namek Saga, because I know Joe wanted to do the one where Zarbon chases Vegeta off to, and they chase Krillin. They have like a 3-way chase for the Dragon Ball. That's a really good episode too.
Mhm.
I think that's also the episode where Goku's hanging in space on 100 in an electrical storm.
It
And I
might-
like that.
Yeah.
That's good filler. There's no boring Goku in space scene.
All the
There-
Goku and space ones are good.
They're all fun.
Mhm.
Yeah. They seem
so-
like they're supposed to be there.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Gotta see
obviously
what they're doing.
like to give some credit to Nathan Johnson. I think Nathan Johnson did all right for those particular scenes. He did okay. Obviously the Wasserman version's way better.
Mhm.
But there is multiple tones to the Goku training scenes, because the early ones are kind of slow, where he's just kind of like doing push-ups and sit-ups,
Mhm.
and then
Drinking plenty of juice.
in drinking plenty of juice. and it gets there's a gradual progression in badassery where it gets cooler and cooler, where he starts doing like Kamehamehas and doing flips and shit and doing Kaioken and just punching in the air, and he generally faster and cooler. So they're like we should like agree on some collective common sounds for outer space and Goku training in space, but we can like, or maybe even come up with a one leitmotif theme that carries over, like that starts out like a slow version of that theme, and then there's like a faster badass version of that theme, and it's all cohesive. When we cut to Goku in space, you know this is a Goku space scene because I know that sound, yeah, et cetera, et cetera.
Because I've been thinking about that. I don't know if that was something you'd want to take, Rakeem, because I kind of had the equivalent for Snake Way. That every time we come back to Snake Way, we had the Snake Way theme or some version. But just conceptually, the idea I had sort of along those lines: take a consistent leitmotif, take a couple consistent instruments, but then be able to either layer additional instruments on top, like almost like an old video game where, like, if you ever play the N64 games where it's like they have the track, and then when you go to a different part of the world, here's the same track playing, but here's another instrument on it or whatever. Be able to do stuff like that, and then here's where the Z guitar would fit perfect if we're gonna need that type of thing. That was sort of the idea I had, that it could get progressive like that, and then maybe you could start playing with tempo as you get to the Kamehamehas and all that. But that was sort of conceptually the idea. But I wanted to leave the floor open for you if you had an idea, or if you wanted to take something like that, because I already had my fun with Snake Way. So,
Well, I guess we're not far enough like to even start with this, but we do still have pillars to use
Oh yeah,
somewhere. I don't know where. Far from here, I know.
Obviously, high gliz naturally makes it sound very naturally Namek.
Hmm.
I don't know if I can
But
find
then
some
again,
place on Namek.
he's not even on Namek.
that would be my, because I think that sounds more of a Namek thing. I was actually thinking in terms of using a leitmotif, grabbing something from Goku Renewed and hanging your hat on some portion of that track, so that when you get to, because you had mentioned, I think, that you wanted to do Goku actually arriving. I assumed that was the
Hmm.
Marcelo died.
Oh. True. Teleportation, instant transmission.
I'm back.
Where's Master Roshi's sunglasses?
He dropped them. His way here. Oh.
But anyway, no, I think you had mentioned about doing something with that theme. So I don't know if you had any ideas along those lines, but that was the thing I thought we could do, that you'd build it up, and when he actually arrives, you could do whatever you want as like a grandiose version of Goku Renewed.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's a good
Goku
idea.
Renewed is. I like the idea of adapting some Goku Renewed in some way. I mean, we did a little bit.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's the hard thing, because for the longest time, the Saiyan Saga had a pretty solid blueprint, but there's no concrete plans with Namek like I usually always do have. Like I do have some solid plans. I have some moments in my head where I'm like, okay, this definitely needs to play here. But there's not as much of a like I might need some more time to plan it out.
Of
Mhm.
course.
So,
You may
We
have a
know
day.
you spend so much time with the Saiyan Saga details that
exactly, and I
we gotta
want
give you
that
your
level of
time.
detail. I want that level of detail with the
Mhm.
Namek Saga, especially because there's more reverse engineering that we have to do too. We have to be extra careful on our toes as we grow closer and
Yeah.
closer to 68.
We either get people to hate us more or love us more. See which coin they choose.
I think people, no matter what, I think people will be pretty. Because in the end of the day, a legend, is it a legend revealed? Is that the name of 67? Yeah.
Mhm.
Literally half of that we cannot screw up because it is just the thing. It's just do the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as it smoothly goes over at that point, it's sort of like anything we did to build up. Because even if all the Ginyu episodes barely use released or unreleased Ginyu music, and we just make a lot of our own, as long as it all sounds consistent with all these other Ginyu episodes having brand new music in every single one, it's fine as long as that link point is nailed. I don't think anyone's even going to complain about stuff like that. So I think we have a little bit more flexibility.
Absolutely, and that's kind of what I want to do too. It's like it's almost like more work and more trouble and more risky to just try and take the Ginyu Force theme from a different episode, try and make it work some because a lot of those themes were written specifically for those scenes and they're timed for those scenes. So just write your own version of the Ginyu Force theme. You know all the instruments, you know how it goes, you know you probably have ideas on how you can remix it a little bit. Just do that. We'll let you get. It's easier and simpler to just let you guys have more freedom to write large red cards over the course of those episodes. Like that's another thing is the red cards are probably going to be longer, which I know you guys aren't going to complain about. I'll let you guys do your thing. There will be obviously still some direction and solid like planning around and whatnot, but you know, it's like I said, I'm gonna leave more in your hands than I probably have throughout a lot of the Saiyan battle.
Once we get to Namek, I think what you're gonna find is if the first like 5 or 6 episodes have 2 to 3 minute stretches of nothing but brand new music, like a very long red card for a long scene, you're gonna get a lot of editor tracks out of that you'll be able to just cut them up for the rest of it.
Oh yeah, that's great. And that's good. You're right. But it'll be similar to like how like some of the Saiyan battle was edited, like some of the latter Saiyan battle things were edited sort of the opposite, where it'll be like large red card glued together with a familiar track, so people will hear that and they remember Dragon Ball Z. And
they remember Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly. And I want that. I want everything to flow like water, like it no awkward edits, anything. I still want some familiar tracks here and there just to be the glue that connects things and whatnot. I don't know. It's like you guys know what to do. I just need to put together a solid blueprint roadmap.
Yeah, musically we have a template, and well, I think once we get to Namek, the other thing we should do is use the sounds, keep it more mysterious until they become friends with Dende. That's got to be where you start to transition in the actual Namek theme. But I wouldn't do the do 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 do. That doesn't come in until they realize, oh, this isn't a hostile planet. It's just that Frieza dude is bad, but everybody else is nice here.
Yeah, I completely agree, and it's hard because like if you watch those episodes, there's not really like too many opportunities until they meet Guru to even play that theme.
Mhm.
Because when we're introduced to the Nameks, they're held hostage at gunpoint.
Yeah.
That would be a weird time to use that theme.
Welcome
I
to
want-
Namek.
Yeah, what? So I don't know. Maybe we might introduce it when we meet Guru. Honestly, if I find a better moment with Dende earlier, then I'll say this is it right here. But honestly, I'm thinking like maybe when we see Guru, like when we meet Guru, that's a big stick close to the template episode.
Yeah.
I've mentioned this before, but that episode is going to be like reverse engineered from Frieza approaches. That episode introduces a lot of themes. That episode has the closing theme that is most commonly used throughout the show. The one that stems off from Guru's theme. Guru's theme ends Z guitar note. That
was reused in what 216 or something too, right? Because they did reuse that once, didn't they? That exact transition, I thought they reused. Or am I...
the driving episode.
Was it the driving one?
Yeah, because you can hear the end of Guru's theme come from it. Like at the the end of Guru's theme, and then the first note.
I knew it was somewhere. I remember that you could. It was all together.
It was also used.
Isn't there another time for that transition?
The Spirit Bomb episode I ripped. The one that wastes our time at King Kai's place, the Ginyu Force. Keep the Chance Alive. Does it at one part. I don't know, probably somewhere else that I can't remember too. That's the most common one that they used throughout the show. Yeah, I don't know. Is there screen sharing? How to figure it?
Should be.
The green button at the bottom if you're on a computer.
Screen one. Oh yeah, share. Can you guys see my screen? Zarbon's, which one is it? Guru's good might be.
While you're pulling that up, by the way, it was Battle Supreme uses Guru's theme transitioning to closing music too.
Battle Supreme.
Yeah, it's one of the Android 18 versus
Mighty Mask.
No wonder I didn't remember it.
It's not even ripped. Probably, I mean, it's a mess of an episode, but the end is probably available if you need it.
Gosh, what episode is it? Oh, it's while Vegeta's still in the healing chamber, actually, I think. It might be Guru's gift, yeah. Yeah, it's this episode. Frieza tells off Zarbon, tells him to get lost, and he tells Apul to call the Ginyu Force. And he's like, the Ginyu Force, sir. And I don't know, at some point, it's kind of a long scene, and Frieza Ginyu beat is only a minute long. But then Frieza has like a premonition about Saiyans, and then you see Goku, and it's like this kind of like this foreshadowing moment. So maybe it sounds like blasphemy, but we can expand off the Frieza Ginyu beat with some choir.
It can work.
See?
Yeah.
It could work.
Definitely.
Because I checked the timing, and the scene's a little long. The scene's like 2 minutes, and Frieza Ginyu beat's like 1 minute. So I got to figure out a way to make it work. But I know it can work.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's all known instruments too. It's not like we can't extend it somehow.
Yeah.
That's one of the few like spots in my head where I'm like, okay, this probably needs to go here. Finding the capsule, I want that to play when they first land on Namek, because that seems like the perfect Frieza strikes. This is our last oh no, the previous one. See, I don't know these episodes as well as I do the previous one. This is when they first get to Namek. This is like the 9th episode of the fake Namek Saga.
The 9th episode
of exactly. And then this little moment
than it actually
there's this lovely little quiet moment where they're looking over Namek, and admittedly I got to give credit, I kind of like the Japanese dialogue a little bit better, because I think they're just talking about how it looks kind of funny in the American version, but in the Japanese version they talk about Piccolo, because they're like, he's like, this looks a lot like the place Piccolo took me to train. He's like, maybe it's in his natural instinct to like want to be in a place like this. And then Gohan's like, I miss Piccolo.
So that this scene right here,
And then Bulma pops out.
Actually, that's perfect. That's where I was picturing as the camera pans around the planet that we just had up a second ago. That's where I was picturing using like Dreamscape and like a little like with the Henya stuff or something along those lines. Like the word I used to describe it as soundscape. Not that you're using a theme that incorporate at all. Just the sounds and just
tones.
Here they are. Yeah, just the tones and something like that.
That's why finding the capsule would work so perfectly, because that's what it is. It's just like dreamscape tones.
Right. And that's why I think it's a good idea to put that there and then interrupt it with Bulma.
Oh yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, and obviously we'll use cartooning for Bulma. Now's the time when we lay on. Did that debut when Goku's butt's on fire?
That's my butt is on fire. That's how I remember that one.
There.
That one's my butt is on fire.
I think that's where it originated from. Because have you noticed this on the last note, the do 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 do, and when they extend it later in the show, you can kind of tell it's a different note that they spliced onto it.
Yeah, they extended it, but it's mixed slightly differently.
Exactly, because the original last note is the first note of Goku versus Lava.
Yep.
Do 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 do. Joe knows he made it.
Oh, Joe knows. It's actually easier than I would have expected it to be. Goku versus Lava.
It's crazy that such a common theme originated from there. So speaking of which, this will be the end of our filler saga. So the Namek Saga is going to be split up into 3 sections, obviously. Fake Namek, regular Namek, and the Ginyu Force. Regular Namek's the meat of it. Fake Namek is going to be 9 episodes, which is much shorter than our 13 episode filler saga previously.
It was that long?
Yeah, it was long. It was
why do I not remember
it's
it
episode
being
9
that long?
Wait, what are you saying you don't remember being that long?
Maybe it's
are you talking about fake Namek?
Yeah, fake Namek.
Fake Namek is only 3 episodes.
Okay.
Fake Namek also includes a couple hospital episodes.
Yeah.
The Space Mad Max Orphans, which is 2 episodes.
Right. Right.
And then Fake Namek itself is about 3.
Okay.
I think it's 4.
It's 4. It's 40 to 44, right?
That's still longer than I remember.
You can say 4.5 because they get to Namek or a little past the halfway mark.
Yeah, because Rakeem, the Ocean dub, I think is 2.
Okay, maybe that's why.
The Ocean dub's a little bit.
I've seen the remastered all the way through one time.
Yeah, I'm probably seen it twice, and that was a long time ago.
So maybe it's the Ocean dub that I'm remembering.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Well,
9 episodes.
Friends or Foes is the first. I'm just looking at your list there. Friends or Foes, they get to the Blade Runner kids halfway through. Held captive, they escape and get to Fake Namek, and then 41, 2, and 3 are entirety on Fake Namek. 44 is half on Fake Namek, half on Real Namek.
But I just call it the Fake Namek Saga because it's essentially Namek's filler saga.
Yeah.
And thankfully it is shorter and more substantial moments in near the beginning and near the end of it. The meat of it is Namek, which is 16 episodes, which is roughly the length of the Saiyan battle, a little bit longer actually. So that's going to be like the fun part where you guys can really dive in. I'll see how we split that up later because I'm not doing 16 episodes back to back, not again.
Of course. Makes sense to me.
And then, of course, the final 7. That's going to be that's like our victory lap. So that's how we're going to break them up. That's how we're going to look at them. We're not even really. We're going to tease the Ginyu Force theme maybe a couple times where appropriate near the end of the Namek Saga. But then we're really going to let the Ginyu Force theme rip in the last several episodes.
Sure.
So Fake Namek is your chance to really explore and have fun with outer spacey sounds. Don't go crazy with the high gliz yet. This is your last chance to really have fun and experiment with outer space. Try to enjoy it. Outer space. Come on, it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
I want to get my 1080, my actual JV,
Right.
so I could get my space sounds going.
Yeah.
And
So
I'm still discovering stuff on the emulator, so
You're gonna be discovering stuff till you die, and then like return in another life. Oh, I didn't know the sound was there.
yeah, exactly.
whoa, we should have used that.
Mhm.
Here it is. Dragon Ball in space. Yeah, find some good sounds that we will use for Goku in space during Namek. So when you find those sounds, they're not just going to go away. You know, they're still going to be used once we're on Namek. But once we're on Namek, then you can go as crazy with Hygliz, Dreamscape, Henya, all you want. Indulge in it. You've waited a very long time for this. It's all you. You'll have more creative freedom than ever. I'll still play my editorial role, but like I said, I'll leave it more in your hands this time around. And then, of course, the last 7 is where we're going to have to be the most careful with reverse engineering the style of the originals. That'll be like our swan song, our big, sad, final, epic goodbye. It's so exciting.
It is.
I don't know.
It is.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys want to see. I put together a little bit. I mentioned this earlier. I put together a little bit on 36. Not a whole lot because I really picking up the pieces. Yeah, this episode is large. It's kind of crazy. I haven't had this mindset in a while where I looked at an episode and I'm like, oh shit, what should I put here? This is a large swath of I don't know what to do here.
Leave a bunch of it blank. Like we'll fill stuff in. Who cares?
Oh, I know.
You're not gonna, because I did watch it recently. You're not gonna find a lot of stuff that fits great for that particular episode. I don't know why, but
there's a few things. I hit a couple moments that I know I want to be.
Because 36 is like,
look at
see that big gap there? That's what I'm talking about. That was
you see that?
Thinking, I don't know what you're gonna
Ridiculous. It's like I got the recap and I got like the first minute.
this was like the serious episode, right?
do. Mhm.
Yeah, this is the big sad episode that Joe has been waiting to do as well.
I've had this little theme in my head for ages.
Chi-Chi, what the heck's going on?
I'll let Joe do his. Can you hear
Goku
this?
just came back from the dead and saved the world, and you've hardly even.
Yeah. Let's see. What was this?
Yeah? The way I understand it, well, the Saiyans found out about the Dragon Balls and they wanted to use them to make a wish. That's why they came to Earth. They were ready to kill all of us, except they wanted Piccolo alive. They could lead him to the Dragon Balls.
I guess there's Kikuchi music.
Yeah. And the whole time they kept calling him this really weird name. They called him a Namek. I think Namek is where they're from. I mean, Piccolo and Kami, they're aliens.
Well, I always said they were funny looking.
Then when Goku was coming, they said something else.
Nappa, quickly, kill them all!
He sounds so bad.
dragon?
I know.
You'll need those fools to find them. It's clear to me now. A Namekian is all we need to make the Dragon Balls, and planet Namek is loaded with them.
It doesn't even fit the voice. I mean, fit the way you look.
No, you're
Not
right,
at all.
Roland. I mean, if Kami made the Dragon Balls and he's a Namek, why couldn't other Nameks do the same thing?
Exactly. And maybe they already have.
Yeah, I think I didn't know what to do there because I think the tone starts to shift more optimistic. So maybe you'll branch off
Just
from
extend
there.
the space voices out and put something else in there.
Help right now.
Surprise, surprise.
I'm here.
I didn't remember what I put for half of these.
Well, of course I know what that is.
Say you guys, is anyone else hearing voices? Or is my old age finally catching up with me?
Thanks, King Kai. I knew I could count on you. Go ahead, we're listening.
Sure, but as long as I have the podium for a minute, let me congratulate you all on a battle well
Got a
fought.
little
I was
funny
worried
stuff
there
there.
for a while. It looked like that Saiyan really had you guys on the ropes, but you pulled through.
I hate to say it, but he even had me a little scared. I mean, even a Kaioken ×4 attack wasn't enough to stop him.
Yes, and those were my best techniques too. I hope you can think of something before you have to face him again. I'm sorry, but I'm all out of tricks.
Yeah, I was afraid you'd say that. Maybe I shouldn't have let him go.
Only time will tell.
What? What are they talking about? You mean you actually let that Saiyan go?
Oh, well, I'll tell you the whole story later.
Now where is it? I'm sure I have the coordinates for Planet Namek in here somewhere.
Send it, and we'll add some Calliope to match bubbles.
What?
And
Oh,
just bop them on.
Calliope.
Bop 'em. I'm wondering if Kinkai's strategy might work somewhere. It's a bit more serious, and it might work around here actually. When he talks about the history of Namek, it's like there's 100 left, and there was a terrible storm, and blah blah blah. That might work with Kinkai's strategy actually. What was here?
Oh, there it is.
Say, you know,
Oh,
if what
yeah, I
Kinkai
want to use this
says is
track.
true, this might explain how it
That's
is
a
that
good call.
Kami ever came to live upon the Earth. Yes, it must have been so long ago that Kami couldn't remember, but perhaps his people sent him here after the climate on Namek changed so that at least one of their race would survive.
I don't get it. If these Namekians really had a set of Dragon Balls like you guys say, don't you think they would have used them? I mean, they could have just wished their planet back to normal. Problem solved.
No, maybe they couldn't.
Oh yeah,
The dragon
that works
is
here.
not all powerful. We found out when we tried to destroy the Saiyans with a wish. Shinron told us it wasn't possible. You see, the Dragon Balls are tied to the one who created them, and they cannot grant a wish that exceeds their maker's power.
Ah, that's a load of hooey. You're making it up. You just don't want to admit that you're wrong. Yeah.
Hey! I thought I told you to can it, stupid.
Good news, everyone. I found the Namekian.
How do you guys feel about one of you guys remaking that track?
I just think
actually?
that's exactly what I was just thinking. We need to remake that and get rid of the embellishments.
You get rid of the embellishments, mix that liquid stack, that dang, a lot lower.
You just do it separate. You make that its own embellishment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
I was just thinking that exact
Easy.
thing.
But yeah, it's like the simplest track in the like. I bet I could remake it if I had enough time.
Yeah. By the way, right here, this right here, this picture, this image that you're at, put a little note. We have to put that King Kai horn that I was using. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah, as you can see, there's a whole lot of large swaths where I really haven't put as much thought into it as I usually. It's like I said, I just finished the Saiyan saga, and yeah, and you know, I haven't begun my planning process yet. But there's what was this?
Wait!
Last time on Dragon Ball Z,
I like that.
Gohan's transformation brought the battle with Vegeta to its crushing conclusion. With his body and his pride seriously
The
wounded,
Japanese
the
music
evil
actually
Saiyan had
went
no
with that
choice but
pretty
to
well.
retreat, and Krillin had
In
no
the
choice but to
beginning.
watch him go.
I come back to
Japanese
this
embellishment.
planet, you're all going to suffer, and when you beg me for mercy, I'll stare into your eyes as I crush the life out of you.
Krillin proved himself the bigger man by showing Vegeta mercy. But will this decision come back to haunt him? There's only one way to find out. Stay tuned for more Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah, it's a short one.
Oh, I like that you started it with that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's what you. Yeah.
it picks up right where we left off.
Go. Just go. Don't come back.
When people hear Aftermath, I want them to think of Vegeta's pod closing.
Nobody thinks of Raditz.
Gohan. Hey there, little guy. Come on. It's gonna be all right. Krillin, bring him over here. Let me see him.
How are you, Yajirobe? Oh, I'm fine. Don't bother to give me a hand or anything.
We'll add a little something.
How is he? Oh, he's a little banged up, but mostly I think he's just exhausted. Transforming into a giant ape isn't exactly as easy as it looks, you know. Great, now what?
Yeah. Obviously,
we know, but
what was here? No, I probably won't keep that.
I was so worried. It's okay. I'm here now. I won't let anything happen to you. Oh, Gohan. Please say something.
But I do want to keep that sort of exhausted spirit about it. Because like everyone's exhausted, and I want to have that tone for the first half of the episode.
Would get you there.
Oh, I'm surprised. Oh, I'm surprised I didn't keep it. I had the Fallen. I remember I put the Fallen here, and it worked pretty well actually. Where is it?
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
I thought that might work for the Flash.
I played it almost in its entirety, and it worked really well for that scene because it's just a montage of all the characters dying, and that's basically what that track was written for.
Mm-hmm. Is that long?
It might have been.
The montage is long enough.
It's pretty long, if I recall correctly.
I don't remember how I edited it. That's too bad I didn't save it. If you give me a second, I might remember. Where's the halfway break? Right here. I don't know. Just see how it sounds. I remember the whistle comes in around the time Yamcha shows up, I think.
That's what we're all about down.
But I don't push it forward a little bit. There's not much dialogue here anyway. Oh, that was pretty good, actually. That's pretty good. Yeah,
it was pretty good.
That's more or less how I edited it, but I didn't remember. I don't remember those tubular bells timing so well with. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you gotta remember that. Save this.
You have to.
Well, yeah, save that.
Save it for your new computer.
I'm surprised I didn't save that because yeah, that's more or less how it was edited, and you just leave it alone and it plays perfectly because there's like almost no dialogue I think during that whole scene. Yeah, it's a pretty somber episode, and yeah,
definitely remember that. This was like one of the most serious episodes.
Yeah, but it ends on an
optimistic note.
Optimistic note, and this one's still experimental, but I don't know. I might go with this direction.
You don't know everything.
Okay, so you got me there, Bulma. It's impossible. But hypothetically speaking, what would happen if we used a Saiyan spaceship?
There's an idea. But where are we going to get one of those? I thought the Saiyans left.
Well, Vegeta left, and it looked like his ship was only big enough for one person. There's absolutely no way that Nappa guy could have squeezed in there with him. He had to have had a ship of his own.
Hey, that's right. And what about my brother Raditz? He had a ship too. Oh, but I think it's probably broken after what Gohan did to it.
Okay, so there's one spaceship left out there. Now all we have to do is figure out where it is, and we're in business.
Well then, I bet I know just where to start looking. It's most likely not too far from where the Saiyans first landed. Somewhere in East City.
Hey, I think I have something that might help. Check it out. Vegeta dropped it. I saw him punch a couple of buttons, and then boom, his spaceship came right to him. I think it's a remote control or something.
Let me see that. Pack your bags. We're going to Namek. We'll have Yamcha and everyone back in no time. Namek, here we come.
A day of sorrow has become a bright day of hope as our heroes prepare to embark on a bold new adventure. It's Planet Namek or Bust, next time on Dragon Ball Z.
No closing music.
So I like that. I had one observation, and it's actually, if you go back to the beginning of that scene, start playing the scene. It's about where I would start the track.
Okay, so you got me there, Bulma. It's impossible. But hypothetically speaking, what would happen if we used a Saiyan spaceship?
So right there,
there's an idea.
On the phrase Saiyan spaceship, I'm wondering if you hit it. It starts with a liquid stack. Right?
Oh, kind of like at that beat where everyone goes, huh? Oh, maybe. Where does it start with? Well, I'll have to see how it edits, but
you may have to loop something, or I may even have to extend it briefly or whatever. But
that could work.
A Saiyan spaceship.
No, but I completely get what you're
yeah.
Saiyan spaceship.
Yeah.
That's.
But where are we going to get one of those?
That's actually
I thought the Saiyans
a good
left.
suggestion. See, this is why
Vegeta
you should edit.
And it looked like his ship was only big enough for one person. There's absolutely no way that Nappa guy could have squeezed in there with
you're
him.
right.
He had to have had a ship of his own.
Hey, that's right. And what about my brother Raditz? He had a ship too. Hey, that's right. And what about my brother Raditz? He had a ship too.
You just have to mess with it a little bit, but
probably broken after what Gohan
we can even loop a little section.
Okay, so there's one spaceship left out
Because
there.
the other
and obviously we'll add embellishments for stuff like this too.
Pause it for the other cue. The other part of that cue you want to hit is where the high gliss comes in at the end. That should roughly time to where they say to the Namek. Just after
that's something I think I had to sacrifice because I wanted it to time roughly at the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, you kind of want to hit this beat right as it cuts to the ship at the end.
Yeah, that works.
So you kind of have to sacrifice it if you want to, because the high gliz comes in around probably after. Yeah, there's no like specific beat where the high gliz comes in, but honestly, like if you really want to hit that beat, you can add an embellishment.
Yeah, we can figure something out. But I think that's a good. Either way, I think the beginning is stronger if you let something else lead into it, and then hit the liquid stack on that shot that we talked about.
I think you're right. Honestly, that's pretty clever because the way the previous scene was, it was like it felt like the end of a previous scene.
Right.
Any ideas on how we can?
Because they're like oh.
That's long.
What do you think, King Kai? Any ideas on how we can get there?
No, I'm afraid I'm stumped on that one. Sheesh, expect me to know everything?
Dude, I mean, where it kind of feels like one scene just ended there and another one begins here. But that doesn't mean we still can't do that. You just start something that leads into the liquid stack here.
Yeah, you just play out whatever you're going to play out before it.
And I did some tests too. There's a scene where Kaioken's strategy also works pretty well in the next episode. When Gohan says he wants to go to Namek. Also, Gohan on the cliff works in that scene too. They work pretty well back to back. I did a little bit of playing around like I do. I'm curious how save. I'm curious how my old project file for episode 37 looks. It's probably gonna be full of a few deleted things. Like whenever I pull up an old project file, it's always like so-and-so has since been deleted. So-and-so has since been deleted because I move stuff around. That's why I have this episode edits folder, and every episode has its own individual tracks and unique edits and things. When I open it up, there's like, episode 27, Gohan Wax Nappa, Nimbus DBZ, 10, all these little things. There's Jaws Nappa.
If ever there was a track that just, this is what it is, I'm sorry.
That's it, yeah. I love that name, honestly. What was the name of 37 again? Plans for departure. Right? Yes.
Mhm.
Unmixed. What did I mean by that? I'm gonna go with this one. It means I didn't mix it yet.
Sounds about right.
I guess I was doing things a little bit differently back then, because it was like, I don't know, it's like my first. Oh, that's it. Just the old flashback. It's the old project file I used to use for flashback harps, before I just found the real thing and used that. But overall, it's mostly still intact. I don't remember how. Oh, okay. So yeah, I did mix it pretty. I didn't do any treble tweaking or EQ adjustments, so that'll probably.
Previously on Dragon Ball Z.
This one's like a freebie.
Think again!
I'll see what it.
After a long and grueling battle, Vegeta was finally defeated. But at Goku's request, he was allowed to escape. The Saiyan Prince promised that one day he would return for his revenge. Though the day had been won, it wasn't without its casualties. As his fallen friends were gathered from the battlefield, Krillin thought of a way to wish them back. The Namekian Dragon Balls.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And if Piccolo comes back, then so will Kami. And that means we'll have all the Dragon Balls on Earth back here again, too.
Oh, it's that easy. Well, I've got news for you. I've done all the calculations, and the numbers don't lie. Your little cruise to planet Namek is going to take 4,339 years.
Okay, but hypothetically speaking, what would happen if we use, say, a Saiyan spaceship?
So now, with a new plan and restored hope, Bulma, Krillin, and the others prepare for the voyage to the planet Namek. The quest begins today on Dragon Ball Z.
That's version 3. Yeah, how did I get this audio? This audio doesn't have any Kikuchi music. How did I do that?
Aim it at the TV. No
Magic.
behind. We'll be on planet
A lot
Namek
messier.
time.
Additional sound effects? What is this channel? That's weird. I'm not. This is different than how I. Some embellishments Rakim did.
This is part of the Neo broadcast version.
This is like the prototype Faulconer Re-Mix.
Mhm.
This is the prototype episode.
I remember seeing this thing when you guys put it up, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. The possibilities were
We'll
endless.
never make it to.
I wish I could work on something like this.
You added, what is that? Dreamscape with doo, doo,
Wait,
I don't know.
Something else.
What? That's a good edit. Oh, that was pretty good by you. Good work, Rakim. Oh, this was a 303 transition you did that I loved. Ding, 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 ding. I love that too. That zip lead.
I remember that.
That is so good. Joe, weren't you in favor of writing something new for Mr. Popo here?
I had suggested that only because you're literally using the Spice. And I know how it's used in Garlic Jr., but because it's the Spice Boys theme, like recognizably so.
It's from Unlikely episode 252. Obviously, obviously originated in the Garlic Jr. I don't know. I'm leaning towards keeping it.
I don't really care. I don't have a strong preference, to be honest with you.
I'm just wondering how much of this should we change. There's probably a few things we could probably put a sub out for tracks we've previously written. I used 16 in the lab at the beginning of the episode, which we do technically use for Gohan's filler
Episode
robot
9.
friend. But I feel like we should probably swap it for something else.
Probably swap that, because honestly, I would swap something only on the fact that after all this time, it's probably at least shows that we changed something with it for the people who are familiar with it.
Yeah, and at the very beginning of the episode, they'll know.
Yeah.
And then I like the hospital scene with the row your boat scene. Followed by some embellishments by Rakim. Maybe we might do something a little simpler. That was It's all right. See, that's I like that. I remember this Earth music that I dubbed Gohan Meets Marin because that's where it's from. I'm really proud of the way that one was edited because I remember that was kind of a pain in the ass to edit and make it hit the right beats. Do 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 do. I like that.
You worry, Goku. I'll see if I can grow some senzu beans to help speed your recovery up a bit.
Hey, Goku, you should have seen Yajirobe fight.
Well, I didn't see you guys doing any better.
It's hard to see when you're hiding.
Yeah, he really showed Vegeta. He was so brave.
I wasn't trying to hurt you. I was just playing around.
Nice one.
It was strategy. I was distracting him.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't change anything about that.
No, keep that. The only question I had, just because I'm thinking of it, I don't remember there being anything, but are there any tracks that didn't rip perfectly clean that we could clean up if they need? Like, I don't think there's anything audible.
Fine, you'll see.
I don't remember. I remember Rakim wrote a little bit here that's, I think it uses like, not basic bell. It's a common bell used plenty in early DBZ, but when I hear it, I can't help but think of Fat Boo's theme. Do you know what I'm talking about? This bell here.
Yeah. Well, that is, yeah.
Yeah, I hear it's fine, it fits, but when I hear that, I just think of Fat Boo's theme.
I forget the name of the bell, but yeah.
It was just so exciting to hear. Yeah, it was Synergy.
Mm-hmm.
Is Piccolo's lesson. Yeah, it's a solid episode overall.
Here, these ought to do nicely.
It is.
And then
I think we did a fantastic job. It's crazy. I mean, I only like handed you like a handful of jobs, right? Like 6 or 7, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, yeah, it was a pretty. It's crazy. It feels so long ago.
It does.
Should I keep? Yeah, I love this.
Think, Bulma. There's got to be another way.
Does this one feel too Cell era?
I'm sure that we can come up with something, Bulma.
Not really.
If we don't do something.
I mean, I think of Cell, but I think I'm a unique case. I wouldn't go by me. I don't think most people would associate it with any particular era.
No, I mean it's just like a random comedy domestic track.
Yeah, and it's just the Earth music theme.
Dun 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 dun. Is it?
It's dun 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 dun. It's not. It just be.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it now?
Yeah, it's Earth music.
Oh, how about that?
Wait, play it.
Watched over this.
Dun 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 dun.
The pizzicato strings are Earth music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I never noticed that.
I didn't either, actually.
That's because you guys haven't documented 250 episodes of the series yet.
Hey, what's wrong?
I love Awkward there. Awkward's a great track. Look at that lady's 80s hair.
I like that that's where your focus goes instead of the overt hippopotamus and what,
or the weird like werewolf dog man.
Let me help you.
Yeah, redo this a little bit.
Get me off this thing! Somebody help!
Actually, I like that.
Ready to die!
I might push that up a little bit. What do you guys think?
Yeah. It should start on
Right.
right a little further, yeah.
And then Bulma has like a little funny, embarrassing moment.
Right there on the cut where on the above camera cut.
Yeah, you write something that transitions into it a little bit nicer.
You could even be something as simple as like a couple of the bass notes from Vice Boy's theme, like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
This is worth it.
I remember because of this is before I learned about treble mixing, but you can like barely hear the teleportation cue that I put in.
Yeah.
You can like barely hear it, but now if I mix it, I can make that very easy to hear.
Yeah, I sure hope.
Well, at the very least, that needs to be changed. Or I just have eerie suspense here for a while.
Where left for us to go? It's a
Maybe I can swap out eerie suspense for something that we wrote.
Is there anywhere that?
Well, like halfway through, because it plays for like 2 minutes.
Yeah. The other thing to think about is you guys didn't have space voices at the time that you did this, and now we obviously do. So I don't know if there's anywhere that could benefit. Or maybe even just write something like new for that.
Actually, I do like. Oh, we could, yeah. I do like this big liquid stack it ends on. This.
And we could still do something like that, but maybe give that whole scene get rid of Android 16 in the lab and something for that.
Yeah, I like the way this is pretty good. But if I do say so myself. Wait, big reveal and then. I don't think I would change serious suspense. I know it's just kind of plays through the whole scene,
no,
but
I keep serious suspense there.
It's perfect. Like
the stories of when he was
it's
buried.
perfect,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's hard.
Yeah, for the
Plus with
feeling.
The last time.
the tone, the wind sounds of the birds, and all that. They're part of the song.
Miss staring out into the distant skies.
A word seemed to appear in my head. I found that if I spoke this word aloud, a door would open.
Pico lo.
Gong sound for the transition.
what in the world?
Little setup for Namek.
Yeah.
What are you waiting for? Go.
Everything fall into place.
When they're on
I think
board and
Rakim wrote
sent him
this.
here to save his
Oh
life.
yeah.
I'm
I
sure they
remember this.
intended to join him here later, but for some reason, something happened and they never made it. The poor little fella. Popo, if we can just get this old thing working, then maybe we can... Hey, wait a minute!
That was
If
good.
the door opened, it is working!
I think I probably
don't know
want to
how
swap
these
this
controls
though.
work. It's alien technology, so I don't even know where to start.
Probably swap this
Well,
out.
when in doubt, just start pressing some buttons.
Though I do like the quiet
the
tone of it.
It's no use.
I just want to comment how Bulma is frustrated that nothing happened when she pushed a button, and the only other time she pushed a button in the episode, the spaceship exploded. so now when nothing happens, she's frustrated.
It's no use. But I've got to keep trying.
Probably
Everyone's
change
counting
that.
on me.
Man, I really hope they found that spaceship.
If it's a spaceship.
Please, Bulma, hurry.
I don't know if I'll
Move,
keep
you
that.
hunk of junk!
I like it, but I don't know.
What will I say to everyone?
Waiting music's good.
It's martial arts tournament.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Think you can fool me with that fragile disguise?
Your skills have improved.
but I don't remember it enough
Sounds
to
like
speak
Vegeta,
it.
huh?
Well, I don't speak the entire language,
Your
but
skills
I
have
think I know a word or
improved.
two.
You do?
Sometimes Kami would
But
mix in
it's like his
strange
geeky
words when he would
Vegeta.
speak to me. I don't know the
Your
meanings by
skills
what
have
context he
improved.
would say them.
Well, let's try some of them.
Nice little transition into.
So,
And then this is where Joe commented on it.
Oh yeah.
I remember I didn't think Rakim could pull off adding funny embellishments to the dragon theme, but lo and behold, he did.
Just what in the world?
Even if I mixed it super low. Brilliant. No one heard that liquid stack.
Not at all. It disappeared.
Well, that's as easy as.
Buckle into.
Oh no, it's also got it. Sorry.
time.
This would probably swap out for it, I feel like.
What?
With I don't know.
I
Is it
like
too
that.
soon? Is it
Me
too soon?
too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I don't think that's too soon for that. I love that cue. I remember as soon as I saw that you used this, I was like, that is brilliant.
Okay. We'll keep it.
We're here. We're already
I
in
mean,
Jupiter.
there's not much that you can't use
It works. We did it. We did it.
at this
Except
Now we
point.
can fly
Goku
this thing to
versus Jason
Namek.
Birder, apparently.
Oh, Kami, soon you will be with us again.
There was a
Now
there
that-
was a that's a Taco Bell I added in myself. Whoop up.
Kami's long-lost
Exactly
spaceship,
where that was
a
going.
universe of possibility has opened up.
It's
The
so
search
pathetic.
for planet Namek continues. Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, there isn't a whole lot I think I would change with this episode. Oh,
A couple things
here.
here and there, but overall, it kind of like you said,
Mhm.
is sort of a freebie.
It kind of is. Like I
Yeah.
said, put a double feature. Oh, it even had blue and green and red cards, I guess. I don't know. Crazy. Felt like a million years ago. Hakeem, is there any episode in the Namek Saga in particular? I mean, I know you're used to watching the Ocean Dub version, but it's time to start getting familiar with these episodes. Any episode in particular that you would want to edit? Maybe this boring filler episode where they just eat food at King Kai's. That exciting episode?
That has to be wacky.
Nah.
The wacky chase music.
Joe is requested to do
Sarbon's mission.
Sarbon's mission.
Which, to be clear, just so I know what I'm doing, I mean, obviously, you would have veto power or anything, but also, I'm just going to do like the initial edit and say, like, here's how I'd structure it, and give it to you, right? That's your idea?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna mix it and everything.
Yeah.
I'll do all the hard stuff. But
Actually,
but
that
I would.
scene, right? So I actually wrote. Hold on a second. I wrote it all out somewhere.
I have like a really old clip that I edited that I thought. I guess you can take cues for if you want.
I was
don't know
gonna
if that's
borrow half of it because I remember seeing that, and it had some good ideas that I wanted to recite.
Do I still have it on here somewhere? Goku takes off for Namek. Custom voices equipped. Maybe I don't have it anymore, which would be too bad because I. thought it
No,
was
we
good.
definitely have it, or at least I certainly have it on the hard drive you gave me.
Oh really?
Yeah, because I've definitely seen it.
What did I call it?
I don't remember.
I would think I would put it in my extras folder, but I guess not.
I don't know.
What? Reddit's theme. Man, these are old. I do remember this.
Here's my note. It says for that timing, it says whatever 758 to 954 dash whatever Marcelo did, but possibly swap something out for with Gohan without a friend or something. That was the note.
Whatever. I mean, I remember what I did. That would be easy to recreate. I remember the transition at the end sounded terrible because I was trying to use the fruit DAW. I forgot what it's called. And I was just Fruity Loops. Yeah, I was just holding down like one note, and that was my transition.
You mean the one that's not made for video?
Yes, that was
Oh, you were using FL Studio,
and I was like, this sounds Faulconer-ish, and I just threw it in, and that was my transition, and it just sounded awful. There's a clip I had where Vegeta talks to Kui. I don't remember. There was also one other idea that I definitely wanted to do. Think it's an episode. Episode edits. You can hear everything on my computer, right?
Yeah.
Well, Vegeta, I hear you took quite a beating recently.
I hear you took quite a beating recently.
You're one measly planet, and if all the rumors are true.
Okay, so about 13 seconds prior to 40, 27-ish.
Beat him to the Dragon Balls, then I'll never be able to defeat him.
Close enough. To a boring scene.
I had a similar edit idea for Zarbon's mission where Vegeta bursts out, like, I'm right here, I forget what he says, and then runs and he's like running toward the camera. I actually can't even tell you when it is in the episode.
Oh, you want to use Vegeta attacks?
It's 4:54. It's about a minute long.
Oh, like real early in the episode?
Yeah, it's near the beginning. A little beyond there, I think.
Here?
Right there, yeah. Time it that it starts like roughly. The fast part of the song would start right when he starts running.
Okay.
You know, I think.
I mean, this is why you're the editor, Joe.
I have to look because I'm not trusting my time codes on this, but
well, let me see about. We started there.
How dare you!
A little too soon.
Yeah, it'll be the fast part starting where he starts running.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. You guys watch my edits? It does work here though. end around the time he jumps out.
Yeah, you can see how it works.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That works perfectly. I started it a little too early, but
yeah, but you see the idea.
Yeah, I do.
Definitely get the gist.
I'll leave the editing reins to you, Rakeem. Any interest in editing an episode?
Well, yeah, definitely. I just don't know which one. Yeah.
Rakeem's like, all right, the search continues. That's my episode. It's the episode where they fight a tornado. Oh, but that's not all. Goku Goku jumps around and see, exciting.
Some people would say.
Not me.
Goku's second coming in it, where that lightning bolt hits him, where he feels the pain. You do you just drop it, like the cassette tape dying sound effect that you had.
I had like one idea for Guru's gift somewhere.
But I'm telling you, it's highly unlikely that he's
Guru's gift. Oh, Guru's gift that's the one that spends most of the time at Guru's place. So that's a very important episode to follow. Frieza approaches, obviously.
Mm.
But I also wanted to experiment to see how well Krillin's Destructo Disc music works when he takes off. Get some mileage out of that. I might have to edit it extensively.
I think
like I kind of want that to play when he takes off. I don't know, but you get the idea.
Yeah, I can see it working there.
Yeah,
Maybe,
me
you
too.
know what it might need is a custom ending at some point.
Yeah.
Which obviously will go to Rakeem to.
Yeah, he'll have to reopen an old project file on his computer. Be like,
yeah, you know.
Yep, time to stutter again.
I thought we were done.
It can work. It works. Because I've had to go back into a lot of projects. I just have to get past the hump. Start deleting stuff I didn't use.
I need these 80 tracks.
Mm-hmm.
I look back at some of my old old project files, like from some of the earliest ones I did. They are a complete disaster. You know, it's held together by duct tape. Is Evil Vegeta theme, because like at that point I knew what I was doing, but I hadn't really streamlined the process as much as I have now. It's such a mess. You get it, Ricky?
I do.
I remember you made that around Christmas too.
Yes, it was right before Christmas.
You're like my wife is like, I'm spending time. The way you phrased it initially, you're like, it's like I'm spending all this time working on Evil Vegeta theme. Like when my family needs me to help decorate the house, I'm like, oh, well, we'll go help your family. Joey's like, no, you don't understand. This is what I want to be doing.
It was worth the time. It took a ton of time, but it was worth it.
It's a great theme. It's a great theme.
I love what you did with it.
We only used it like once.
Have. It was good that you were not with your family. When you did that.
It's for the best.
It's for the
best. Oh yeah, and that's obviously that's fine. I don't care. We'll do whatever. But when I suggested Goku versus Jason Birder, like this is what I had in mind, just for reference sake. I wanted to use the edit in Dende's Demise, the Now You Will Know the Horror Frieza edit. The dan 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 dan. I really like that edit. But I thought it fit pretty well around Give me a second to time it. 11:03. Okay, so that is bizarre.
Frieza.
Watch this. Ah, shit. Obviously, we can do something else, but I just wanted to show you that it does fit. And it played pretty well. But you know, that's why I asked.
We could always use you could use the setup and just make something new for that battle part.
Yeah, and that's fine. I'm always down for something new. I only said that because it's like this is like as close as we're gonna get to 68. So I thought it might be on the table.
But we'll actually be using it in 67.
That's true. That's true. We'll use the crispy CD version. It's gonna sound terrible,
right?
Dump the WAV file. No, dump an MP3 file from the CD into the episode. That's how you YouTube.
MP3. Downgrade on purpose.
That's right. I had a funny idea of what we should do with it, but I don't think it would work because it would be too jarring. And it's really because of one thing. In 67, use the original audio and put that in as an episode edit, but the problem is it's too inconsistent. Like Krillin said, it would be jumping way too much because I did experiment with it, but you can't do it. It just doesn't work. Like
Krillin sounds like Cartman in the early episodes.
He actually does, yeah.
He does.
He's like, oh man.
Man.
To me, that's better though. It sounds like how it looked. Like the footage.
That's how I wish Krillin sounded in the last arc of Dragon Ball when they're teenagers. That would have been perfect. And then if Krillin just sounded like he does whatever, like that, yeah, I'd been fine with that. But I'll take Krillin either way. Sonny Straight turns in a good performance regardless.
Yeah, no matter what.
It's not like Sabbath where it's like, oh God, what were you doing? Like, did you even care?
Clearly not.
Yeah, it's funny because Schemmel got a lot better, and Sabbath just kind of forgot to act.
Like, yeah,
forgot to act. He's just himself.
He's just himself.
This is me.
Well, by that point, he had played so many anime characters who were just his normal speaking voice. It was just like, I'll just do the same guy, whatever.
I also did tell you guys my plans to you can still write your own original tracks and everything, but I want to try and use the fake Namek Saga as the last opportunity to really use a lot of our favorite filler tracks for a lot of little moments, because I wanted to use the Arlean bug theme for these guys. And I feel like it can really work, honestly. You can write some things in between as glue, but honestly, like I really feel like the Arlean bug theme, and no one's even going to remember the Arlean bug theme, so it'll work out perfectly.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, I wanted to write some, like, I'll use the word soundscape for that, like that, just atmospheric stuff for that little mini arc, but
you still can.
That's what I'm saying. You could use that for the characters. It's fine. I just wanted something for the planet.
And I remember I did a test, and I thought you guys weren't on board with it, or one of you guys was a little resistant because I wanted to use Goku versus Princess Snake during this part because it fit. It had the right energy, and it used the main Dragon Ball Z theme, and I liked it. But
it was probably me, but I don't know. I'm sure I've changed my mind by now.
because you're like that's Princess Snake's theme. It belongs to Princess Snake. I'm like, no one's
That
even gonna
was
remember.
why I said that. Yeah, that was why. But
and I'm like, no one even is gonna remember Princess Snake's theme, Joe. Sorry, you and I will, but no one else will.
I love that episode.
I do too. It's one of my favorites.
That's fine. But just because I don't want to forget this, in episode 40, is that the second space? That's the second Space Kids thing.
Held captive 40. Yes.
Yeah. There is a scene, I always remembered this. I always they talk about Frieza functionally, the kids do. I don't know where
it's past the halfway point. It's after all the action's already over.
But that's where I really wanted to put some type of Blade Runner note or something in there. Not Frieza's theme, obviously, but just something to tease Frieza.
Oh yeah. Weirdly enough, it's like they only had Kui in the manga or something.
Kui, yeah.
So they only tease Kui. What do they talk about? What do they actually talk about Frieza though? Oh yeah, here they talk about Frieza. Yeah, they go on about it for a little while, which is fine. Obviously, they're inspired by Mad Max. It's weird. The first episode's like a weird Scooby-Doo episode. It's like mostly played for comedy. Yeah, here's your chance to put a healing capsule theme, which will, of course, we'll reuse later. It's like extremely well animated for still image of him in a capsule.
Beautiful hair movement.
Yeah, and then when he gets out, he looks like shit. It's an Uchiyama episode. Dun, dun, dun. This is the theme. This is the same theme that plays when Goku turns Super Saiyan. Yeah, these episodes are kind of boring overall, but we can still have a lot of fun with them.
Yeah.
If we had fun in the filler saga, we can have fun in this.
That is true.
I don't know if any Kaioken themes can work here, but
probably.
There's some boring scenes with Goku playing around.
Where Goku is starting to power up Spirit Bomb test, like the beginning of it, like.
Oh yeah, I can see that working.
Yeah.
Have some carryover Kaioken themes, but really the Kaioken theme will probably start to filter out as Goku's training in space. We'll still use a couple, probably.
The last place I think I would use, well, the only other place I would use Kaioken power up is where he shoots the star, because I've tested that and I know for a fact that one works.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's actually really cool if you put it together. It times really tightly too.
I'm still trying to figure out what to use in this scene, because this scene is perfect in the ocean dub. Probably our Goku space training theme.
Yeah.
But we'll get there when we come to it. We're like 30 episodes away from that, so don't worry about it. The best Goku training scenes are in like these two Bulma filler episodes. And then there's a couple of really like silent moments of Goku like in the spaceship all by himself during the Ginyu battle episodes right here. I think Ginyu Choir will work pretty well here, honestly, because during these episodes we're going to be laying on the Ginyu Force theme pretty thick. So I feel like Ginyu Choir will work really well for these like silent moments of Goku alone in the spaceship.
Yeah.
There's a few of them. I'm pretty sure there's one here in the previous one where they fight Gildo, maybe. It's the closing. But I remember there's one where it's just like a still image of him just like standing. And it pans up slowly. Yeah, right here.
10 minutes left.
Maybe not that one.
Strange, but I don't feel the least bit scared. Maybe it's the calm before the storm.
Calm before the storm.
Somebody just had a nice comment about that track in one of our episodes, 30 maybe?
I saw that, yeah.
I've just got to try to keep
Maybe he missed it in 29, but that it was well there too. Because no one watched 29.
to get out there and help my friends.
Yeah.
See, that particular sequence that you just had on, I would probably do Guru's theme there or Heroic Goku.
Yeah, yeah. We'll be. I'm on board with that.
Experiment with it.
I'm totally on board with that. I feel like the end of this episode would be perfect with Guru's theme when he lands. Oh no, because the narration comes in sooner than you think, so I can't really do that old edit.
It's time.
Starts as he gets up, so. Ba-da-bo, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, boom. Ba-da-bo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like near the end. Ginyu Choir might work when he lands.
Gohan's theme when he gives him Sensu Bean.
Because we're just doing the same thing again.
Yeah.
It's the same shit, just a different place.
Sky's a different color, same thing.
You can change it up.
Oh yeah.
You can change it up.
Yeah, but when you get to this point, you have to do the expected. And since you know 2 episodes
But it's
later,
coming in the next episode.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't we talk about
So,
about teasing the Super Saiyan theme here?
I don't know if we talked about it, but
you know what? I just had an idea. We don't have to play the Super Saiyan theme at all, of course. We won't. We won't touch it. But we could tease it here because this is our second to last episode, and he's talking about Super Saiyans, damn it. But what if when Raccoon Shatters here, we replicate that cue in the Super Saiyan theme that wait for it. Ding ding ding.
yeah, I could see that working. You just pull the instrument. Well, Rakim already has all the instruments too. You could easily just pull that out.
Yeah, he made a remake of it.
That's right.
I mean, this whole scene will probably be written to scene, and I'll let you guys use your creative freedom
This
on it.
whole thing is him talking about Super Saiyan. What you could theoretically do is not obviously you don't do the whole big thing, but just the basic repeating bass line for the Super Saiyan theme. Dum 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 dum. You could maybe.
I disagree with that.
You disagree with that?
Come on, just borrow elements. Just borrow elements of it.
It's too strong an element. That bass line is like everything.
All right, Rakim's right.
Although
you could use it to build
we basically
tension.
kind of do it with
Kaioken
anyway.
And that's why I was suggesting that. I would never do the dun, 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 the end part. But the build-up part I would take, but not with all the grandiosity.
With the space voices.
Yeah, I would do the bass, maybe even a different bass, but bass line maybe slowed down or something to sort of suggest, like to hint at it. It's got
let's come back to this. It might work.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to overplay Super Saiyan, but you're also overtly setting up episode 95 here. And this is the one and only time it's going to happen, so you're not breaking anything.
Yeah, really. Honestly, I feel like there's no better time to tease the Super Saiyan theme. It's a missed opportunity if we don't do it, Rakeem. Like we have to do we have to do something with it.
I'm not completely against it. If it can work, if we can do it in a way that it doesn't take too much.
No, I think what Rakeem is saying
we can.
He's conceding Goku versus Jason goes here.
Oh yeah, I'll happily trade Goku versus Jason Birder. I won't touch Goku versus Jason Birder if we can tease the Super Saiyan theme here.
I mean, in my view, here's what I would equate it to. It's Gohan Wax Nappa, where I didn't overtly play Gohan versus fights Frieza.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's the mentality I'm approaching it with.
And think about how many times we teased a little help from a friend before we killed Piccolo.
But that's different. Super Saiyan is like the strongest thing the show
has.
But
this is the only time it ever really comes up.
That's true.
That's
Which is why I'm completely against it. Not completely.
and this is where they set up the Super Saiyan, because before this they really they don't really talk about
Toriyama hadn't pulled it out of his ass yet.
Exactly. This is when Toriyama pulls it out of his ass.
Right.
This is that moment that it's like we have to. What else is what are we gonna do? Vegeta's theme here?
Vegeta's vision.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be terrible. Horrible.
Well, but you know what? Vegeta's vision is what you would do if you didn't have what we have, the tools to actually just make new. That would fit there.
I don't even think I would. I don't know what I would do, but I wouldn't use Vegeta's vision.
Really? Because I think that would. I wouldn't use it, but I think if you didn't have brand new.
I feel like I would sooner use Vegeta knows his son than Vegeta's
No,
vision.
you don't. No. That's a cell track. That's
Of course it is. But like I said, if we're in the scenario where we don't have the instruments and you have to make a fan edit on YouTube, that is what I would. I would probably. I don't know if that's what I would use, but I would sooner use that than Vegeta's vision. Do you know why?
Why?
Because they use that track every time Vegeta monologues to himself. Oh, I can't believe Kakarot's stronger than me. Oh.
That's true.
That is true.
This is his first moment where he monologues to himself. Oh, I can't believe Kakarot's stronger than me.
It's the first time he monologues it, but he does say something after he gets hit with the spirit bomb, I believe. Doesn't he say something of the nature that he could potentially be? Or like, why is he? Maybe I'm remembering wrong.
I don't think so.
I thought he said something like, why is he stronger than me? Or why is he this strong? Or something like that.
I don't remember. And I can tell you I've been through these episodes.
Maybe it was Goku's command.
I can tell you I've been through these episodes a lot, and I don't remember this line.
Maybe not. Maybe it was Goku's command, but I can't pinpoint.
Oh, yeah, after the Galacon?
Yeah, maybe it was there.
Where he shouts to himself. He's like, "Why is he stronger than me?"
Okay, there.
Yeah,
is that what he
says?
Does he say that?
Something around those lines. Kakarot's power just cannot be greater than mine.
Okay, that.
Yeah, I get. Okay, that's his first monologue about Kakarot's power.
That right there.
And he's furious. Are there any scenes you want to call dibs on, like that you have your mindset on it? You have a great idea.
I have exactly one, and I will pretty much defer literally anything else. Actually, two things, but one's more broad. One is I had an idea for Zarbon's theme, but one specific scene, and I don't know the episode it's in, but it's where the Ginyu Force gets dispatched, and you see them on Frieza planet, whatever, and they're.
It's either unknown enemies or destination guru. I think it might be this one because I think
it's near the end of an episode. I think. Maybe it's not that.
It's this episode.
Oh, it's this scene right here. I had an idea for this.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna tease the Ginyu Force theme?
Yeah, but like a slower version of it.
Okay.
I wonder what it. So you hit a kick drum every time. Like if you go back a second, where the pods are closing, like you have to time it kind of with that.
This is a pretty well animated scene for an Uchiyama episode. These are good looking Uchiyama episodes, and it makes you wonder. It looks very Star Wars-y. It makes you wonder about the logistics of how Frieza sends people off in space pods.
Yeah, that's the one and only thing I specifically want to put my flag in if that's cool. Otherwise, have whatever you want.
All yours.
Rakeem, any ideas? I thought for sure. Yeah.
Well, I know Goku landing was one. Something somewhere for the Ginyu Force, of course.
Well, we only have
gotta do that.
6 or 7 episodes for that. Oh, do you want to do the Ginyu Force introduction? Because you know this is going to have to be a red card, right? It's very much going to have to be time to see.
Absolutely, it is.
This is definitely.
I'd take that.
And it's got to have a big, exciting ending that you then pull the carpet out of. Just pull the rug out from under us, and you're like, oh. And you have to hit the comedic beat perfectly at the end, but it's yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you want, you could have this scene, right?
Yeah, gladly.
I figured, yeah, because this is definitely going to be a red card.
Can I see what comes right before Ginyu Force theme in a legend revealed?
That's how it starts, isn't it?
No.
No.
67.
It couldn't be.
Oh, you mean like how it would start here? Okay, yeah, it would technically like start on this. It's edited differently though.
It is.
So it would technically start like around here.
It's annoying that we can't just straight up use it the way it is.
Yeah,
that's going to be interesting.
I would have to see the timing of it because this is the opening shot right here.
Right there, yeah.
And we can't just start it there. That would be kind of awkward. It's right in the middle of the scene. You know what I mean?
So what I was going to say was, can I have whatever is right before the Ginyu Force theme?
Yeah.
Or can I write something to go into that?
Sure, yeah.
Wherever we're going to put it.
I was thinking we'd re-edit it a little bit so that the Ginyu Force theme starts when they take off. Like either here or here. Just like depending on how timing and re-editing it would work. You know what I mean? And then at this point, we gotta, some point during all this action, it'll be retimed so that it'll land where it's supposed to land. Obviously,
as long as it ultimately hits where it's supposed to hit. Because the episode, or the original dub version, doesn't have all the cutaways, right?
Oh, yeah. This isn't even in Ginyu Assault, but this is in the Ocean episode. So, yeah, this is going to have some kind of overhaul.
I think for where Goku punches Jace in the face, that forward is consistent for a while.
Yeah. Obviously, the Fuzzbox buzz clip is gonna have to time up perfectly there. Yeah, that is obviously going to line up. That's the priority of the scene, is that lines up. But yeah, you may have to extend Ginyu Force theme a little bit because I'm worried if it'll just start in the middle of the scene if I have to have it line up. You know what I mean?
It won't line up no matter what, because it'll only line up for parts of it. Then it'll get out of sync. The explosion thing, the fuzzball thing, that's what you got to focus on. You're right.
Yeah, let me re-edit that. I'll get it as close to match as possible to the right beats. And yeah, it'll be up to you to write the glue that makes Ginyu Assault like a more extended version of Ginyu Assault. Boop, ba-doo, boop, ba-doo, boom, 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 doom, doo, 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 doo. All that's going to be exactly the same.
There's a cutaway with Ginyu talking to the troops and like teaching or something, right? Like
right before or after.
Yeah.
Is it? No.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah.
We don't. This is where we can't use the Dende transition thing.
Shit! What are we gonna have to do?
No.
That's tough.
I thought that landed perfectly, but it doesn't.
No, it does not. Right there, you have to start the base.
It doesn't work.
So you have to write a new way to end this scene that will somehow lead into Goku facing off Jason Birder.
That's actually.
Yeah, it does. You can't
actually
sucks. The rest
scene might
of it
also
plays out normally, right? He fights them, cut the ball, cut back to them for the closing.
We have to extend. Thankfully, at least I think Goku versus Jason Birder is entirely. It will just play out.
I think the whole rest of the episode is as it was in the original,
except for closing music.
Well, yeah, obviously, but yeah, there's the cut to Bulma, and it goes back to them. Here's closing music. We're gonna have like 4 minutes of closing music,
which is basically the original length of the real song, but it won't work.
I think it's 2.5, maybe 3 minutes here, right? Because this what you're looking at still has the end song.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it all plays out the same length.
Yeah, we'll just have to re-edit it slightly.
Ding, ding, ding.
I love the way you use that little bit for closing music in 34. That is so brilliant with the tail.
Oh, why? Thank you. Yeah. And yeah, obviously the episode will end on the dragon version of the closing theme. Ding, ding, ding. We probably won't do the surprise segue. The dun 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 dun. Probably
Why
just
not?
You have to. No, you have to.
You can't take that
It's
out.
fine to stop closing music and just cut to
Oh
what
wait, no.
the
maybe
episode's
he's right.
because the episode's
Maybe
gonna
he's
end in
right.
10 seconds.
It's okay. You just go right back into it. That's
Wait,
a long,
he has a
that's
point,
a longer
though.
hold on Berta, right?
Because
has a point.
We need to end the episode.
Doesn't matter.
That's how
Wait.
the episode's.
But in the real Ginyu Assault, the actual next episode, it's gonna do it. So I guess
Yeah, exactly.
Marcelo's right here.
The next.
I
Don't
guess.
give him that. Don't give him. I don't want to hear myself.
I mean, I feel like he's actually right about this one.
I know.
Maybe he's right.
Wait, do you
Because
have?
I
spiritual
know where
warning?
this episode ends. It's gonna sound like this.
Would Vegeta be right? He seems to have the upper hand, but the battle has only just begun. Would Vegeta be right? Has Goku, training in sheer will, become a thing of legend? A Super Saiyan? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Fine.
And that's how the Faulconer Remix project ends.
We could just
And then it
in and out of like our own closing music.
I mean, you could, you could like embellish it,
making,
but you know, it ends like that, and then the next episode
starts right back up,
right where we were. And we were just playing closing music all throughout that final scene. Here we are again. Right where we were.
Yeah, okay.
But that surprise segue right there. Dun, 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 dun.
Yep, you're right.
We have to cut that out.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that was in the. I haven't really watched this version of it, to be honest with you.
Why? It's the definitive version.
I remember this. I hated this when I saw the remastered version. I was like, "What is it? What happened? What happened?
Yeah.
What did they do to the episode?"
We gotta re-edit it because
I was so confused.
That's just the way it is.
You're right.
I was like, I didn't see. This is not how it was.
It's that's why it worked so perfect. Like I thought you guys would have realized this. That's why it works so perfectly, because closing music, the dragon version of the closing music is already playing, so we use that to end the episode.
Thing of legend.
Right there.
Yeah,
That
I haven't really watched A Legend Revealed much, so yeah.
Can't imagine why.
And I'm going off what I remember from seeing it, because I definitely remember when I saw it.
Well, you guys know the Namek Saga less than I do.
Yeah, I really don't know that well. I know
you gotta rewatch some of these episodes
because I don't like it. I mean, I love the Namek Saga, but I don't like any of the available versions other than the Ocean dub, which isn't the whole thing.
Right.
That's the problem.
You're gonna have to change that now, won't you?
Well, now I know the Saiyan Saga extremely well.
That's it. That's how A Legend Revealed ends, and it's like I said, the latter half of A Legend Revealed is already designed for us. We may have to fill in a few gaps. I'll let Rakeem do all that because
we have to fill in a lot more than I thought.
Because it's been his life mission since we started this project to fill in those gaps. But as far as our finale for ending an episode, this is our finale for ending an episode right here, is the Super Saiyan theme tease. Like that's our big epic finale for like actually.
Yeah, that really is the end of the project, and then the next one's the break.
Yeah, and the last episode is our bridge to actual Faulconer. Oh wait, for some reason you'll write something original, but for some reason in my brain, I always picture the cue when Frieza arrives at Guru's house here.
Dum, 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 dum.
Yeah, the doom 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 as his head turns.
Not the cue, but use that instrument and something.
Yeah.
Use that concept.
Something watery and dreamscapey.
Dun, 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 bum, bum.
something tense that sets up the Guinea Force theme when Jason Birder get rolling. There's 6 episodes when they started, when Mike and Scott and Bruce started. They did 6 episodes of the Guinea Force, and then they started like the Frieza saga. You guys have 7 episodes to do what they did with the Guinea Force theme, essentially. And also, don't forget, you're probably also going to 7 for both. I believe it's 6 episodes.
7 for us and 7 for them. I thought it was 7.
They did
69, 8, 69,
68,
7. It's 7.
Oh, there you go. 7, 7, and 7. It's perfect.
That's actually a long like sub arc. I never realized how many because that always just go so fast because I love those episodes. Like the
yeah.
It's like one smooth story.
Yeah.
Just keeps going, flowing.
I would also recommend like a healthy dose of the Dragon Ball Z theme as well, because they obviously that's used a lot for Gohan and Krillin stuff early on. Obviously, it was early on because that was the main theme of the show, and they were just starting to write music for the show. But it's like I said, we still have to keep it consistent. Choir is also going to be have a presence in it because Ginyu Choir still has a presence in the early Ginyu episodes.
Yeah.
We're not going to have nearly as big an emphasis on it as we did before because we use Choir a lot in the Saiyan saga.
We have to remake Ginyu Choir.
Yeah. Why do you sound so sad?
Harder than you think.
It's harder than you think.
I've tried it. It's hard. It's more complicated than it sounds like it should be.
Really?
Although I thought that about the fusion, and I don't know, that wasn't that bad, but that was also knowing where to look for the drums, because the drums are always annoying. Ginyu Choir I've tried, and there's something in it. And Rakeem, have you ever tried to do that one?
No.
All right. I think there are 2 different basses playing. The one is whatever it's called from the Proteus. I think the other one might be. I think they both might be from the Proteus, but I think there are 2 playing, or it's just a drastic difference in velocity. But I couldn't figure out. I couldn't quite nail it when I tried it. So I'm going to try it again. But yeah, that one is annoying because I wanted that one to exist standalone for many, many years. And I will get it. It's just a nuisance. And speaking of nuisances, Marcel, how much of 70 are you able to edit? Do you have any sense of that using existing material?
Good question, because I haven't checked in a little while, but probably a fair bit more than you could think.
It is more than you would initially think. I know that because I was
obviously the whole recap I can pull, so don't worry about the recap.
We have
the entire powering up scene. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to do.
Which actually isn't that terrible because I was playing with it. That guitar that's playing in there is the Z guitar run through the Afterburner. Because I was using what Elton made, I was able to use that to try and match the sound, and the sound was 1-to-1 as far as I could tell.
Oh,
you could
really?
tell on the higher guitar notes.
I thought that was the same guitar as.
I thought that too,
Goku
but try it with
versus
the Z
Jason
guitar.
Birder.
See, maybe you'll disagree with me, but give it a shot when you get the time to play with it. I was playing it and I was matching it. And it was and this was the thing, because this was what I tried doing nothing power, and it wasn't working. And then when within the last 2 weeks, I went back to the Z guitar and tried that for the higher register ones, and it seemed to match. So
well, maybe it works. Maybe
it might just be because of what it does to the signal, what the zoom does to the signal.
Maybe.
Yeah. And this is devastation. We have that
3 minutes. The first 3 minutes you're gonna have to do. The lead into the awkward frog music, because I know it's so weird how they picked a starting point for that track like in the middle of this scene, and that's where they loop it for the rest of the show for some reason. It's like they didn't want to touch the Dragon Ball Z theme. It was icky, and they wanted to stay as far from it as possible. Unfortunately, I think you're probably gonna have to remake this too.
That's not that isn't that big of a deal.
It's Guru's, yeah, Peaceful Namek, because this is the choir version.
Yeah.
Some flying on Namek that might be recreatable. I'll have to check.
It is recreatable for sure.
No, I mean, right, let me say,
editable.
Let me phrase any job I have to do as reconstructable. Remakeable is you. So I can reconstruct that. The cartoon and melody you're gonna have to remake after a certain point. Like obviously the opening notes I can do, but this only plays like 3 times in the show.
Well, I had done that full remake. I know it's not perfect, but it's pretty close. But I can make it perfect now. I know.
Oh yeah, Joe already has like.
I think I missed one note through the whole thing.
It's also not like the most complicated track.
It's harder to time. You know what? It's hard to time because it doesn't follow any type of pattern.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? You're right. It is kind of random. Da, 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 da. It's more tricky too. You want to follow this scene because this is obviously the original scene. It's more tricky too because I know when it plays in Welcome Back Goku, they cut the shit out of it because there's long chunks where it's like da 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 da, and you can hear the air go out of it. Like if you listen carefully with headphones, you can just hear the cuts. It sounds. You don't notice it in the episode, obviously, but man, when you listen to the isolated audio.
That track is also, the audio is actually scratchy on it. Like you can hear that it's not crystal clean, kind of like we have now. Like whatever software they are using isn't the same quality as what we have now. Because my cartoon, and when you pull out the sound, it doesn't have like the slight, like electric noise that you would get from any type of synthesizer setup in the 90s.
There's obviously a small chunk in the middle of this scene that I can remake, but all this you have to that would have to be you. When Dende takes off, some of that I can reconstruct. However, like it's like quiet for a little while when he's like, it pleases me, blah blah blah, blah. This is like dun 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 dun. I think I can reconstruct all of that. This is a more Ginyu Force theme.
Yeah.
How close it is to the CD, I have to check again, but
I remember
I don't think
fairly accurate.
No, because at a certain point it embellishes. It goes beep, 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 beep.
Well, yeah, but as far as like the tempo and everything, I think it's still the 95, and I think it's just like the standard Ginyu Force theme until it starts getting to around this point.
And it does open with the snares, not like the regular, which I call version 2. That this is the more awkward frog music, but you have to recreate a lot of it. But it's not very
complicated. Needs to be fully recreated.
Yeah, it's not terribly complicated though. I think it's just like some Henya tones. You have to remake all this, unfortunately.
This part, but then there's the part where he actually arrives that you can pull from 104.
Yes. You can pull it from a few spots actually. They use the cue when he pulls up to Guru's house like quite a few times actually in the later Frieza battle episodes. The dun 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 ho 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 dun 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 dun. Some of this can be pulled from Password is Purunga, but it's edited differently, and I have to see what I can reconstruct. It might be a combined effort. This part I can get from Password is Purunga also. This might be just normal Frieza dialogue music.
A lot of this is just normal Frieza dialogue, but it's like you said, it's edited differently. Some of it I think is timed slightly differently too.
Yeah, I'll have to deep dive and figure it out. So I would leave this scene alone for now. This can be pulled from Goku's Ginyu and Ginyu's Goku, as well as when the androids are in the forest.
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. And then at a certain point, it's kind of hard to hear on the single DVD. It just kind of transitions into a lower pitched version of the horror Frieza theme. I'm not sure if it's just pitched and it's going to go 1-to-1, or if it needs to be played at a lower pitch. I'll check. A little bit of it can be pulled from the Videl versus Spopovich fight.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Yeah, that's the only other time it plays. But I honestly think like you could probably just take the Frieza dialogue track and pitch it down like 5 or 10%, whatever it is. But I think at a certain point here, it might need to be remade when he blows up the thing, because then it's just kind of like low tones for a while until Guru's theme starts. Obviously, we got that.
And then that just goes to closing
from
music.
that point, yeah, you're good. From that point, we have closing. We have everything from there. So
there's work, but it's not terrible.
I would say you probably have to remake like 60 to 70% of this episode.
I think a lot of the remake stuff is pretty. It's like the easier stuff because it's just they were doing a lot of the more droning stuff at this point.
Yeah, honestly, the part I want to hear the most crystal clean is Frieza passing Dende. I really like that cue, and I wouldn't mind reusing it somewhere in the Namek Saga. It's just like little low high gliz notes, right?
Is that high gliss or was that Piz pluck?
It's a Piz something.
Yeah, it's
could be pizzicato.
I forget. It's one of them.
Yeah, there's a little noise. Yeah, a lot of great little sounds. But I'd rather just hear Frieza powers up sloppily edited into it.
Just a brat. Kids are learning to fly so young these days.
I don't know, some underpaid editor at Funimation tried their best.
This is what I could pull from episode.
Had to do something.
They had to do something.
But it's all from 75. Like why 75 and 76, right?
Some of it's from 79. Gohan attacks.
Okay.
I love
Including
this.
when Krillin's running away from Frieza.
Is Frieza powers up on the table, or should we leave that alone? I don't even know if there's any good moments to
wouldn't
use
be a
it.
good time to use that one.
Nah,
I wouldn't use it
you
personally.
can't even really do it.
I don't really
do
I can't
anything.
really- Yeah, I don't know any moments where it would even work.
All Frieza ever does in our episodes is sit in his little chair.
Yeah.
And blow up his own minions.
And walk around his ship a little and run around his ship very angrily, but that wouldn't be his focus anyway.
Yeah. Do you guys have any ideas for Frieza's introduction? I feel like that should probably have its own special theme.
Kim, you said you had an idea a while ago for that, right?
Yeah. I wanted to do the first time we see Frieza.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great introduction. The end of Brood of Evil. It's so great. It shows like dynamics. Something's horribly. You already know things are bad. It's a great little introduction, and it's got a
supers there.
But keep in mind it's also a short scene, and we got to hit closing music at a certain point. When do we hit closing music?
It's a little bit after this.
What's this?
Right there.
The evil
Oh,
tyrant.
I guess.
What's this?
I guess this is cut on Zarbon.
It's on the cut to the balls, probably. Zarbon holding both of them.
What's this?
Yeah, the narrator just kind of talks in the middle of.
He does.
I'll have to pick a good moment. But I also love the shot of Vegeta. I can see closing music working so perfectly here.
Yeah.
This foe head on. Gohan and Krillin have a
Yeah. So that scene's all yours. I will not object because I don't know if any of Frieza's I'll probably use Frieza theme one somewhere here. I mean, I have to. But we'll write something new, a couple new themes for Frieza as well that will be forgotten. We're never gonna hear Dark Choir again.
I figured it was pretty much as good as dead anyway.
It ran its course.
Aren't they all really at this point in the story?
Get rid of that. Get rid of Hero Harmonics for sure. That's off the table.
I thought we shouldn't even use that.
Well, we used it very lightly.
Well, I mean, like here.
Oh no! Completely off the table. I don't even want to use it for fake Namek.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Get rid of all those sounds. Any sounds that wouldn't belong on Namek. Got to start getting rid of. Maybe even the Zero guitar, unless it's like a special occasion. But I feel like maybe we should get rid of the heavier guitars too.
I would favor just the Z guitar and the Afterburner.
Yes.
Because the thing about the early DBZ episodes have more of like a raw feeling to them. You get that with the Z guitar and the Afterburner. You don't get it with the fuller sounds of some of the other instruments we've been using.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's finally all starting to stitch together. Although there's still going to be some fun. Oh yeah, have that Goku hospital theme. Although there aren't too many cutaways to the hospital. This is already episode 46. It's like it's like, oh, but there's a few hospital cutaways during the fake Namek arc, so we'll write it for those scenes, and I'm sure that it'll work. But
was that Legacy of Goku track?
Yeah, it was like District 304 or something like that. It's perfect. I think it'd make a great cutaway theme. And if we wanted to use any alternate, we just use some Earth music theme that we have.
We never got to use I don't know that there would be any opportunity for it. I don't think there would be, but the Capsule Core theme from Legacy of Goku 2.
It's not a bad theme, but I'm hesitant because there kind of already is a Capsule Corp theme. It's the Briefs music.
Yeah.
That's what I would use if we ever went to Capsule Corp.
Because that's who the focus is on when Goku's there. That's why I didn't think there would be any good opportunity to do it.
There's only one time really when they go to Capsule Corp, and I would prefer to use Briefs during that just to have that tie-in.
Aristocratic British.
Yeah, use that for Ox King, and I don't know when it was. Mostly just use that for Ox King. Any further talking points or ideas you guys had?
Is there any chance that we can use or make remakes of any of the tracks from Budokai 1?
Budokai 1? Huh.
They had some great ones like Challengers and Countdown to the Decisive Battle, I believe.
I'd be careful with Challengers. That one's a ripoff of something else.
It is. It is. Actually, that is right. But Countdown, I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
I don't think Countdown is
like it.
Countdown to Decisive Battle. I feel like I'm more like.
I mean, we definitely don't even have to do any of that. But
I feel like we should draw a line where we leave it only with the Legacy of Goku games.
We can do that
because they already have, the Faulconer tracks in them. There is a vote for consistency. I mean, these would make great.
Definitely don't have to do it. But they do have some great tracks.
I'm all for bonus video ideas.
I was gonna do a lot of Key as a bonus video at some point, which is from Legacy of Goku 1. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, Budokai 1.
Budokai 1?
Yeah, that's my favorite track.
Okay, let's just keep them as bonus videos then.
I think I agree with Marcelo on that. I think Legacy of Goku and Taiketsu, because that's Faulconer as well. And then for the Frieza Saga, we're gonna start getting into the collectible card game. Because they use Frieza powers up at one point.
One point. That's like the only track that plays. The only point. Oh no, it plays the
only point.
It's the recap for almost the entirety of it, and then sometimes you get Frieza powers up. Or,
Yeah, you're right. Great soundtrack.
it's pathetic. Now that said, Rakeem, if you are inclined to remake challengers using these instruments, I am all for it. I would love to hear it.
I guess I'll do it.
I want to hear Fighting High and Low.
Shoot, I'd love to hear the Budokai Tenkaichi 2 soundtrack. That one's my jam. That's the one I played a lot. But I don't think I'd suggest putting any tracks from Budokai Tenkaichi 2 into Faulconer Re-Mix.
Which of us is going to remake the Budokai Tenkaichi 4 theme when it finally debuts on YouTube?
Ooh.
Let's see how good it is first.
I don't care how good it is. We're getting the clicks.
You want to do it for the clicks.
We're getting the click.
That's right. We're getting Brucey all that ad revenue.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I follow this plan.
He wants all the subscribers to himself. Get him.
But then again, all the Dragon Ball Z games have great songs in them. You can find at least 2 in every one.
Yeah, even the really bad games.
Even the bad ones. What's the one that everybody hated? Not
Sagas?
Ultimate Tenkaichi, but the one before that.
Is it Sagas?
Sagas.
No, Sagas was from our era. But this
Sagas
game is like
PS2, Xbox.
Sagas is pretty.
It's from, I think it was PS3.
Yeah, it was
during this time.
Battle of Z.
Battle of Z.
Yeah, that was the
That
one.
has some great tracks in it.
That has some wonderful
I don't even
music.
know what you're talking about.
The game, trash. The music's amazing. Like what?
I've never played this game.
It's really bad.
It's
you ever play
terrible.
Final Bout on PS1?
I used to love that game. I used to.
That's another one. I guess for me, because I mean, it's such a clunky game.
It is.
It's like hard to play. And I remember playing and thinking, I want to love this.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Super Saiyan 4 theme in that one's actually really good. Super Saiyan 4 Goku has a pretty good theme song. And oh god, the biggest fight, the anime opening song, that's one of my favorite Kageyama tracks in general.
You guys know the DBZ game soundtracks better than me. What was the one I pulled up where it was like the Grade 8 theme and it was just clearly the final, it was a clear ripoff of the Final Countdown?
Oh, yeah, which one was that?
It's like da 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 da.
Oh, I remember that.
And I'm like, huh, that sounds familiar.
Sometimes when you're on a time crunch,
I guess so.
they're like, you know what?
Joe's just like, it's like, so why does Yamamoto get busted, but this guy gets away with it?
Mm-hmm.
Better about that. The one redeeming thing about Kai was I really liked the soundtrack.
Oh yeah, I think Kai had a really great soundtrack.
Yeah,
I said it's like a pretty good mixture between Faulconer style and Kikuchi style.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because like if you like pull up the scene when Vegeta first arrives on Namek, you're like, this sounds like a Faulconer track.
Yeah.
I didn't even finish Kai. I got like 5 episodes. Was it 5? Whichever episode has Frieza and the explosion. Can't remember. It's been a long time. I remember it was coming on Nicktoons, I believe.
Yeah.
And then I was so excited. I was like, it's gonna be the original Dragon Ball Z from Cartoon Network. Couldn't be. Obviously,
again.
It was not.
And it started, and I was like, okay, cool. But it got to a point. Somebody's voice was different, and I was like, I tried to give them a chance, but I couldn't get into it.
Jace by any chance? Because his really irks me in Kai.
It wasn't Jace. That's too late. It was somebody early, and I feel like it was Frieza.
Frieza's voice was the same for the first episode, and then they were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
there we go.
Young the first episode.
I keep forgetting the first episode opens that way. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's got the Bardock flashback as back.
That's okay. I remember that, and I kept watching.
What a terrible way to open up the series. for many reasons.
I know Gohan. I didn't.
I don't
Gohan's
like
voice is different, and so is Bulma's.
I tried.
Nobody's
I tried
bad, but I don't like Gohan's voice.
Mm-mm.
Not that she's bad. She's actually really great. But it's no Stephanie Nadolny.
Yeah. Colleen Klinkenbeard, is that who it is?
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I said, she's good, but she's like, there's that line that you cross where it's like when a voice actress is trying to be a little boy, but all you can hear is a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Colleen sounds way too much like a woman. At no point do I ever buy that it's a young boy.
Yeah. Yeah, the acting is overall a little better, but I like the original.
I don't mind. I like. There's some. I think it might sound blasphemous. I like Kai's Frieza.
I do too.
They get it right.
See, I like both of them for different reasons.
Yeah, they're different. I always have the nostalgia for the original Frieza, but I think I'll adhere that they probably did a better job overall with the new Frieza.
There's a.
I get why people like the new Friezas, because I guess it has gone to many people since then, or a few.
Two.
More than one. Okay.
It's two, because the one, well, he passed away, and now it's Devin Mills or something Mills.
Okay,
Damian Mills. I forget first name.
To be fair, it's a good impression. I couldn't tell.
You can't tell.
I liked that Frieza in the Resurrection F movie, but I think that's the only time that I could take it.
I just couldn't take it.
Because all I can think about is our Frieza.
Linda. He's saying monkeys. Did you
like? She just sounded so disrespectful.
I know. Did you guys ever pull up that clip in the Ocean dub when Vegeta gets hit by the Spirit Bomb and he lets out a yell that sounds just like Linda Young?
I think I did, because you recently referenced it, and I pulled it up while I was at work.
I was like, whoa, that really sounds. I was like, that sounds just like her. It was weird.
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
Like they pitched up Brian Drummond more, and it just sounded like Frieza. Also, the pacing's way better.
Did you guys ever notice? Well, of course you noticed, but what do you guys think about Linda Young every time after the Frieza saga? Her voice for Frieza.
It's like how it sounds even raspier, or what do you mean?
It's like they chose to go normal with the Frieza voice instead of
doing the thing.
Doing the thing.
Yeah.
The thing.
Yeah. It's particularly prevalent in the late Buu episodes. But I think movie 12, Fusion Reborn, because there's a lot of Frieza dialogue in that one, if you recall. And she doesn't do the same performance that you get. It's almost like a caricature of the character at that point.
I'm not really sure I'm following. Like, what's different about it?
The tone of the voice.
The tone of voice.
Yeah.
Where it's like
in the Frieza saga, it's this. This is what it is.
More sinister in the Frieza saga, where it's like
the final form specifically.
Yeah.
And then later it just sounds more comical. I don't know. I don't know if I've noticed.
There's more of a comedic edge. I mean, obviously Frieza at that point is kind of a gag character.
Yeah.
Whenever he comes back, but still the presentation is very consistent with that.
It's like it goes back to her first form performance. But like more of a gag, like you said.
Yeah.
I don't. Isn't the first form and the final form kind of the same voice, or am I?
They are, but the
performance is different.
The performance is different. The performance has a lower tone to it. When Frieza transforms in '84, it is a lower register the way she delivers it. I actually thought they pitched her down a little bit at first, but I don't think so anymore. I think it's just the way she acted it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, it is a little higher in the first form. You're right. Although obviously, like Linda's performance Linda is also one of the few returning voice actors in the remastered version who turns in a good performance in the redub. Sony Straight, it's Krillin, Stephanie Nadolny easily turns in the best performance as Gohan, because I can't tell sometimes what lines are the original and which ones are the redub.
Yeah.
Which speaks a lot for the performance. Just like really good. At some point, I don't remember what episode in the Frieza saga, at some point it transitions back to just the original dub, and I cannot tell. The fact that I still
I know
don't
which
know
one
for
it
sure.
is.
Which one is it?
It's I think the line is "You animal."
Oh yeah, I think you told me that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple lines that like my brain had a Mandela effect where I was like, I thought that's how that she originally delivered the Gohan line, but no, that was the redub. Like when Goku's afraid of needles, and he goes, "Man, how embarrassing." I thought that was the original line. Turns out the original line was, "Oh, father, I'm so ashamed."
So ashamed.
and I was like, huh. So props to Stephanie for actually doing a better job, doing a good job, and actually caring for the redub.
Yeah.
Cannot say the same for Chris Sabat.
Unless your name is Jace.
No, Jace didn't get a couple. Jace got a couple lines redubbed.
No, he means for the Ultimate Uncut.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Going into it, he actually cares.
It's amazing. It's weird. Like Vegeta's like the most important character. Why don't you care? Care.
Please. For our sake.
Why he didn't care enough to even redub it.
I'm glad Sean didn't. I'm glad he chose not to.
Yeah.
I kind of wish he did, not because I prefer the remastered dub or anything, but because I would have preferred a newer dub rather than a weird Frankenstein's monster of old and new.
Yeah.
Because
I think if he was on board, they would have completely redone the entire thing.
That's true.
Yeah, like if there was a new Goku dub, it would have been more worth watching. Because otherwise it's just messy and sloppy. And Piccolo is also not redubbed, and it's obvious he's Sabat's 98 performance as well. It's just bad when you have them the two dubs together, and it's just a horrible mix. Yeah,
I am gonna agree with you there.
Yeah,
even if it's all worse, even if you prefer the original one, I would have preferred it all be consistent at least. And it's all worse for it.
Sabat's Piccolo is the best of his performances other than Jace in the Ultimate Uncut stuff.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, he's good as Piccolo.
Yeah, I can't think of any other. Granted, it's just his voice, but I can't think of any other character he did more consistently and better with.
I think I'd agree with that. Yeah, his Piccolo is pretty solid. I still think I prefer.
That's basically Chris right there.
Right.
That's him. So he's just natural with it.
I love Scott McNeil's Piccolo though.
Me too. And he's the voice of Wolverine on X-Men Evolution as well.
Yes, I pulled up a couple clips and I'm like, oh, that's just Piccolo.
Yep, it was.
He makes the corniest, dumbest lines sound cool, where he's like, "You're out of line. No one comes into another man's home and tells him what to do."
That's right. And Brian Drummond used to do the same.
Yeah,
or probably still does.
It's weird. If you watch the Westwood dub, I would consider Brian Drummond's Vegeta and Scott McNeil's Piccolo to be the only two solid performances. Like the Westwood dub is so rushed and terrible. Even Peter Kalamis' Goku is pretty rough.
Well, I always liked Ian Corlett's Goku, which was basically just Mega Man.
Yeah.
You know what? Although I know that this happened, I could not tell the voices apart.
Oh, really?
Even when I knew, like I couldn't tell.
To me, they sound
exactly the same.
They overall do, but if you go to, I forget which episode number it is. I guess it's 26 or 27.
It's in the middle of the space training.
Is that where they change over?
Yeah, because I remember Ian Corlett's last line as Goku, like chronologically in the show, is when he starts doing push-ups and he says, "Okay, let's begin." And then when it cuts back again, it's Goku doing like these. And it's Peter Kalamis. Peter Kalamis is my favorite Ocean Goku, even though I think he kind of did a bad job in the Westwood dub. I think he balances the cool badass hero and the comical Goku better, because Ian James Corlett is perfect as the badass Goku, but his comedy Goku isn't as good.
That's where I think Sean's really strong, though. He's able to capture both versions. Now.
Oh yeah, Sean captures both perfectly.
Yeah,
he he may be kind of a weirdo, arrogant kind of. He thinks he's the only Goku, but I would call him the best Goku.
Me too.
He
aside
nails
from Masako Nozawa,
yeah.
And even then, I prefer Sean's to Masako, but that's just my own personal preference. But they're both really good.
Well, sure, yeah. I mean, I grew up with him, not Masako.
Right.
I mean, she's still Goku.
Yeah. She's no Masako X, but that's okay.
Wow.
They're no Team 4-star. Have you heard of Team 4-star? It's amazing.
No, I haven't. Tell me about it.
Tell me all about it.
Tell me about it.
You don't need to tell me all about it. It's okay.
That was a good time, though. Did they do Yu-Gi-Oh too?
Yep.
Somebody did.
Little Karibo did Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged.
Okay.
And some of the other guys got into it later, but yeah.
That whole time period was a good time period.
They really came into their own in the it's like I said, I think Team 4-star is funny. I really hate Team 4-star fans. They ruined Team 4-star. But
yeah.
I think they really came into their own in the Android arc, because there was a long period during their Namek and Frieza dub where it just felt like they really just wanted to dub Dragon Ball Z because there was little to no jokes in some episodes.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh, that was very funny. It just kind of felt like they played it too straight for too long.
After Vegeta dies is when they started playing it straight.
Yeah, and it's just like, all right, if you guys wanted to dub Dragon Ball Z, that's fine, but it's supposed to be a comedy show, guys. Yeah. Where are the jokes?
Where are the jokes? Oh yeah, it really did feel like that during Goku versus Frieza. There wasn't much to do with that, I guess.
Like, there's not too much you can even make fun of. That's the problem.
All I can remember is like, that's not a pizza. That's not a pizza at all. After Frieza threw the disc and cut his cheek.
Yeah, I don't mind how they flanderized Goku to be dumber. That's fine. They did great with that.
In Team 4-star, it's okay. In Super, it's not okay. Unacceptable.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Big mistake.
Stop it.
Yeah, I don't care for Super because it feels like it's just written and made by people who didn't make Dragon Ball Z. Simple as that. I don't know. It's just it feels like it's made by different people.
It does. And GT felt like that too. But GT was like,
GT felt like it was made by different writers. Yeah.
The characters looked consistent enough, but the art, I don't actually like the art style of it either. That's the other thing. GT had a few good ideas. The GT feels like it was written by the people who make the Dragon Ball Z movies, and the Dragon Ball Z movies are terrible. Yeah.
And they do nothing except borrow ideas from the superior anime show.
Yeah. GT's ideas are all like the 4 core arcs, other than Super 17, are all really good. The 4 of them are really good conceptually. It's just the execution that's bad every single time.
It's
and then they hire Mark Menza.
The cherry on top of it.
Let's just make it worse.
I mean, whoever they got next would have been a blow anyway.
Yeah.
Because you're just coming off the end of Dragon Ball Z. Like that.
But that was like rubbing salt in the wound. I don't know. I still haven't warmed up to it after all these years. It's just like it's not my cup of tea. I don't know.
Wait till you hear all my villain theme remixes.
But I like GT still. I can't say I don't like GT.
Well, you know what lowered then I listened to the Japanese soundtrack to GT, and that lowered my opinion even more because I was like, wow, this is actually really good. Like, I should just, if I ever rewatch GT, it's going to be the Japanese music. That's the
only way I do watch it, usually. Too much of Menza stuff, particularly the baby stuff, is elevator music.
Yeah, Baby's got an awesome theme in the Japanese version.
Yeah, he does.
He's got such a cool theme, and the Universal Spirit Bomb theme is so awesome. It's beautiful. It gets you like excited for this shitty anime.
And that's the point. That's how it should be.
Yeah, you can
You have
polish
to
a turd
elevate
with
it somehow.
You can polish a turd with great music. Yeah,
You can. You actually can.
Right.
Hey, I just realized something. See your clock that you got on your computer, Marcel? The one that says 11:21 p.m.
Yeah.
Did you know that where I am, it's 12:21 a.m. now?
Well,
Same
yeah,
for me. We're in the same vicinity.
No, it's an hour behind. I never.
No, you're in the same. We're all in the same time zone. That's the thing. I was going by your clock to figure out what time it was, and Steph just texted me and said, "Hey, bring something up when you come up." And I realized, oh my god, it is 12:22.
I knew that was not the time because I had looked back before and I was like, it was 10 something, but it was 11 something, and it was 9 something on his computer, 10 something on my phone.
You had the superior knowledge. You knew not to trust Marcella's lying computer.
Exactly.
Exactly. It can't even get the time right. That's how bad it is. It's gotten.
That is one cool picture.
Thank you.
I must say.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's that's one version of it, of that image. There's a second version that I had saved that I sent to Joe. Not that. There's a bunch of versions of that. This one. There's a second version that was colored in differently than this version. And then there's my version that I colored in, which is here.
Nice.
You're better at that than me.
The trick, it's a matter of several different layers of color gradients. Yeah, that's the original black and white. You add in all these different layers and layers and layers of shading and coloring. And that's the original anime colors I based them off of.
And it's gone.
And oh yeah, I was playing around with that, but yeah. Doom 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 doom. Doom 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 doom. Do 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 do. Because I knew it.
That's the track that I forgot I wrote the ending to it.
I knew it had to be that image. I knew I had to acquire that image somehow. Whether I had to color it in myself.
Did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Yeah, Steph says you have a lot of pictures in that particular project file.
Oh yes, I do. There's like 10 million of them. Because I never delete any of them for some reason.
Like, why are there so many layers?
I know, because I never deleted any. You can find like some really old ones. Yeah, there's a really old Krillin Tiptoe music. Some Raditz is in here still. Yeah. That's the original. I like the later Snake Way theme I made, or the later Snake Way image. Oh yeah, that was a hard thing to cut out. Unfortunately not. It's used for Dark Choir, but it should have been used for Return to Snake Way. But it's a snake. So many tracks that we made.
220 something.
It's just crazy.
Not counting every transition and embellishment, obviously.
It's just insane.
Easily 500 cues.
Yeah. In 35 episodes. Crazy.
It's just insane.
I still maintain
be right.
we have to do the next episode previews. and get Rakeem to record all of them.
We could.
Now that I would actually do.
How are you gonna go from Kyle Abert to Dale Kelly? Stay tuned for scenes from the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Whoa, who's this guy?
Exactly.
As long as you come out with Krillin's in the house, that's all we need. We're good at that point.
Krillin's in the house.
Krillin's in the house.
Dale Kelly has some memorable narrator lines. I remember my favorite one was like, I think it's the episode right after he goes Super Saiyan. No, it's the one where Frieza like blasts Goku in the chin, and Dale Kelly's like, "Pow! Right in the kisser."
That's really good.
Please don't ever change him. Everything was fun for him.
I know. I always remember when Vegeta punches Cell, Super Vegeta punches it for Cell, and he's like a power punch. Ouch, that's gotta hurt. And Dale Kelly was just like, Super Vegeta hit him with a power punch.
He's a little bit more serious with it.
He's straight. He plays it straight. That's what it is.
And it's fine, but
it works.
You know what? I really actually quite like Kyle Abert's narrator when he's doing Dale Kelly in the early Majin Buu episodes. And those real early episodes when you can clearly tell he's mimicking Dale Kelly. I quite like Kyle Abert's performance in those episodes.
He's definitely good. Can't even say anything's wrong with him.
Oh, sure, yeah.
He just doesn't like make fun of himself, I guess.
Yeah, he doesn't have that cheese factor.
The cheese factor.
Oh, yes, he does have the cheese.
It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's Goku.
Goku. That's how you say it.
Exactly. It's finally arrived on the planet Namek.
Wow.
I love that. That's my favorite. I think that's my favorite. Like,
you're stepping in the shoes of Mike Smith and Scott Morgan already.
That's true, but that's different.
You've composed more music for Dragon Ball Z than Bruce Faulconer has.
That has never been said before. It's so true. We have.
That's true.
That's crazy.
That is hilarious.
Once you think about it.
We've got an amazing resume to be TV composers. I don't have people knocking at my door to hire me, but that's okay. It's coming.
It's coming. I'll hold out till then.
Well, when I go to too many games in a couple weeks, I'm going to find all the game devs, find the people who are going to do the Legacy of Goku remake, and I'll hand out demo CDs to all of them.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was going to message you. I was going to say, are you going to go see James?
He's going to be there playing Rex Viper.
Oh, yes. I know.
You know who that is, Rakeem?
Who's James?
James Rolfe, Angry Video
James Rolfe.
No, I don't think so.
How would you?
Oh, he was a huge internet.
He's internet famous. He's like
he talks about video games.
I think I missed him then. The name
anyway,
doesn't ring a bell.
He was very early YouTube, and he's been around for going on 20 years now. And he's like
old now.
Yeah, he is old and bald. But yeah, his most famous thing is the Angry Video Game Nerd, where he gets like unreasonably angry at old video games. That's like a common thing for a while on YouTube, but he was the first one to do it, and just inspired lots of people.
Inspire.
Yeah.
Was his name the name of the channel?
No, the channel is Cinemassacre.
That does sound familiar.
He's done a lot of others, like Monster Madness is another thing. He does like horror movie reviews, but look it up on YouTube at some point. Just like skim through a couple of old episodes. They're really funny. And then
it'd be like, it's like, God, when was this made? 2005? Oh,
yeah, it was. But anyway, so one of James Rolfe's aspirations in life is to have a rock band. And he does in fact have a rock band now, Rex Viper, which is like an 80s style thing. And they basically do 80s cover music. Like think Rocky, like that type of thing, but they include video game motifs and stuff with it too. somewhat famously, they performed at this convention that I'm going to in a couple weeks, Too Many Games, and it didn't go well. The audience was into it, but if you watch the performance, like the guitarist was off key and off beat and off everything. James did this weird thing on stage that people call the duck walk at one point, which I think it's actually like one of those like 10 or Jiffy things, like on Facebook. If you try to find it, if you type in like James Rolfe or duck walk, you'll find it.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah, it's a midlife crisis for all intents and purposes.
Midlife crisis.
Yeah.
How old was he when he started?
Early 20s?
He must have been in his 20s, but he looks
yeah,
like
because he's like 45 now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like 45, but he almost looks like he's 55.
Married with kids, and he's so resigned now that he can't give up Angry Video Game Nerd because that's what he gets. That's his job. And it's very upsetting, I think, to him that he can't do anything else creative in this.
Oh,
he cemented himself.
Yeah, he made a movie, a crowdfunded movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's garbage. But he also
it's garbage.
he wasted a lot of the budget by insisting on shooting it in LA, which was stupid because he could have just filmed it in New Jersey, which is where he lived.
You could watch the classic old episodes and watch a young man rant about video games energetically, or you can watch a newer episode and watch an old man yell about video games.
Or you can watch his behind the scenes, which is really bizarre because he doesn't like have any production skills. So he'll like literally tape a tripod to the ceiling instead of just.
Really?
You've never seen this?
No.
Oh my god, you gotta watch it. The 2021 behind the scenes video. It's like 20 minutes. It's the best thing ever.
Is it on the channel?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Link it to me.
And then you have to watch the Red Cow Arcade discussion about that channel. Very fun. Sorry, I'm just like nerding out about it because it's hysterical to me.
Because he's gonna go see him at Too Many Games.
I have his plushie.
Oh, really?
Yes. I don't know where it is, but yeah, there's a James Angry Video Game Nerd plushie, and I bought it from him years ago because people said I looked like him.
Oh well, you know what? I don't see the resemblance at all. Hey, you still have your hair.
Yeah, but it's going gray. You just can't tell with the lighting.
Silver Fox.
Wait, I think I remember this guy.
See, I figured you probably may have seen him or heard seen a clip or something.
You can't be your age, our age without like knowing who he is on some level.
But this was like a long time ago.
Yeah, and just imagine the fact that
yeah, it was.
Hair follicles have died in the process.
Yeah, that's why he always wears a baseball cap in his videos, because when he takes it off, he looks like that. That spooky cinematic lighting in this thumbnail just shows all his wrinkles.
But you see down the latest shorts from Cinemassacre further down, that's him young. Even Goat Simulator, that would have been like 2016 or something. But like all the way on the right, the plane in Top Gun, that's what he looked like when he was young and energetic.
It's just, it's going to happen to all of us.
Unfortunately.
It's just the way of the world. We can't run. Look at his hair, the difference between his hair.
And look at the one that's.
Oh my god! Oh man, the difference is his hair says it all.
You should have made a story out of it. Like every bad game he played killed another hair in his head.
Yeah, make it a running joke.
Yes.
Oh man, poor James. I love you, James.
I'll be
wherever
sure to
you
see
are.
him in a couple weeks. I have Ghostbusters for NES autographed by him.
Tell him to shout profanities at me. I'd love that.
He's like such a quiet dude, actually, in real life.
I know. I know. He's like the sweetest, humble, like guy. And his AVGM persona is so clearly a persona.
It's Mike Matei.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, that's Mike Matei. Yes, correct.
Who still has a channel, by the way. Like he just recently, like a week ago, posted something of him ranting about games.
He needs to make Minecraft too.
Inspector Gadget.
Now that's comedy.
I'm sorry, we came. It's just like a whole rabbit hole.
It is a rabbit. And it's not even a rabbit hole I'd recommend going into.
No, don't.
The only angry like gamer channel that I used to religiously watch is the one where it's like 5 different guys. The channel isn't called Rage Quits, but the segment on the channel was called Rage Quits, and it's like
around like 2012, maybe.
Yeah, usually one guy would do it, and one of the games was Surgeon Simulator. He had a bunch of other games, but he would always like do stuff wrong.
Rooster Teeth.
I used to cry. Rooster Teeth. There
Rooster
we go.
Teeth, yeah.
I used to cry laughing at that little segment. Rage Quits.
Surgeon Simulator. I remember that game.
That was a great time. Watch those if you want like a good laugh.
I used to watch Rooster Teeth a little bit when they first started. But I was too busy watching Cinema or Channel Awesome. That was like the peak of art at the time.
Gaming historian has been my weird little random new side interest.
Gaming
For summer.
historian.
He just like does like professional documentary style video game videos. So we learn about why Sega mismanaged itself into the ground in the 90s.
It's like what Joe would be like if he did documentaries, right?
Oh yes, completely. He kind of has Joe's sort of like nerdy demeanor.
I actually might watch some of these.
They're really
the story of Super Mario World.
That one's really good, and the other one,
gaming historian. Oh yeah,
the Super Mario World one's good. You gotta watch the blockbuster video one.
The Tetris one is probably my favorite.
Oh, that one was the most. He put a ridiculous amount of work into the Tetris.
That one is endless. That one's like a feature film. It's like an hour long. But that one was the most interesting to me, just because of all the legal, international legal swirly twirly drama fusion, just trying to secure the rights to Tetris
from Russia.
And I'm like, that was kind of that was really interesting, actually. That was a cool story.
Yeah, check the Blockbuster one out when you get a chance. That one's really, I mean, I grew up with that era, so that was really fascinating.
Like Blockbuster, the store?
Yeah, like Blockbuster.
Oh, he has a video. I thought it was just games, but it's like life too.
Well, it was Nintendo versus Blockbuster because Nintendo didn't want Blockbuster renting games out to people.
Oh, yeah, and Nintendo fought hard against Blockbuster.
Yeah, that's why games like The Lion King are like impossible. Lion King wasn't licensed by Nintendo, but that's why you can't beat level 2 of The Lion King on Super Nintendo.
Okay, definitely need to watch that.
Yeah.
He's not as handsome as Joe though.
Thank you. He doesn't have the gray in his hair either.
No. Yeah. See, if you're excited for the new Super Mario Bros. Movie, you can watch his documentary on the making of the new Super Mario Bros. Movie that just came out. There it is.
With that.
John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins. It's great.
Oh yeah, I just saw the Blockbuster one. Actually, it was on the right.
I'll be right back.
It's got strippers apparently in it.
Yeah,
that's the first thing I think of when I think of Mario. He's the angriest gamer you've ever heard. I guess we should wrap it up. It's past midnight, and everyone's tired. We haven't even talked about the project in like an hour.
That's okay.
No one cares.
Make sure you play around with my Fusion thing, the DBZ theme I sent you.
Oops, I forgot about that.
I dropped the link, I think.
That thing you slaved over. Oh yeah, I forgot all about it.
It wasn't too far.
I listened to it on my phone, and it sounded great, but obviously I need to listen more carefully.
One thing I really want you to do is I want you to count, like slow down the original to the extent you can and count the drums and make sure I have the same number of beats, because I'm 99% sure I hit all of them, but I don't want some smart ass coming in and be like, you missed a drum beat, shut up.
Well, whoever would say that.
I don't know. This one snares too loud.
It's pretty good, but I think it needs a re-rip.
I re-ripped this mono now.
I know, I love that. It's just inverted one of Rakeem's tracks. Here you go, I fixed it for you.
Actually, open the beginning one because you'll hear how I had it ended up like doing it.
Why did I open it twice?
It's silent for a while, and then you'll see the crossfade.
It sounds terrible so far. That second one sounds, I'm sure it's probably right, but that second one feels like it hits a bit soon. Like
it might. Although
because it sounds like it should be like da da, and it's kind of like da da.
I will tell you that the timing is a little different than you'd think. Make sure you line up with the actual episode because that's what it's using for it.
I always do. Stephanie want? Oh, that wasn't her.
Oh no, it was Wario64 tweeting up a storm.
Continue. Damn. Wow. Wow.
So right there, at the Z guitar part at the end, it gets like quieter, and that's because I'm fading into your rip. I'm crossfading into the rip, but that may need to be tweaked a little bit. I mean, the volume is the volume from my version. If you go to just the ending part,
yeah, is just the volume of the rip just a lot lower because when it gets to like like that part sounds worse than I remember for some reason.
That part was your rip, which I could always redo if I have to.
I need to listen to how I ripped it. I guess I assume it's the most up to date version. Yeah, that needs to be fixed. Does that sound better in the actual episode? How did I? Because I don't remember how I ripped
did
that.
what you did with it. Because although that part actually was quiet in the episode. Now that I think of it, I think that part was a clean rip.
It might be. It's been a long time. It would help if it wasn't so long ago. Because I remember I was just like, I'm done with this scene. I don't want to touch this again. I might have erased it from my brain. Yeah, that might be.
Yeah, that comes out. I remember doing that myself.
Wong, wong, wong. Yeah, you can see how choppy that is. Yeah, yours is gonna clean the hell out of that.